Good evening, kia ora, everyone joining the chat tonight. Welcome to LPL Pro. Tonight, we've got some Rainbow Six Siege coming in for you. We've got two matches here at the beginning of week number 4. My name is Matt Smite Ross. We've got Mr. Cthulhu here as well. He's going to be bringing all of the big brain information for all of our lovely viewers tonight. And Cthulhu, we've got two matches, so tell us what we're going to be seeing tonight.
Yeah, so what we'll be seeing, first of all, it is going to be Blessed Esports versus Team Ferox to kick things off for some both ways chances of getting just further up on the leaderboard. And then further down the line, it is going to be PC419 versus Bance Gaming.
Yeah, so first match, let's talk about that for a second, because that one's going to be, in a sentence, a David and Goliath match. That's top of the, very much the top of the table. EXO's the only team above Ferox right now, although Ferox are tied with a bunch of other teams around that second place spot. And then Blessed is right there at the bottom, along with ShadowNet. So it's really, it should just be Ferox coming in to do some business as usual, get the 2-0, because they need it right now to keep climbing up the ladder. Blessed, though, even just one win would mean so much to them.
Yeah, for Blessed, they desperately need to get that win, or at the very least get another set of points to get themselves slightly higher on a leaderboard, because things are looking a little bit grim for them for Ferox. Yeah, they finally, after the most recent performance, finally managed to get themselves out of that swamp of the lack of points. So now it's just kind of an uphill kind of grind for them. So let's talk about the maps that we're going to be seeing for today.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the maps then.
Yeah.
So first up, we're going to be on Oregon. That one's Bless pick, which I think you've got some interesting things to say about. And then Clubhouse is going to be Ferox's pick after that. So tell us, what is so interesting about Blessed picking Oregon here?
So Blessed for Oregon, this is going to be their second time to be playing this map. They looked fairly confident, but that was against ShadowNet, one of the teams that is currently also at the bottom of the leaderboard, which RIP ShadowNet as well. But yeah, they had a pretty confident performance there. I believe it was somewhere across the lines of 7-5. Whereas for Ferox, this is also one of their better maps, where they performed really well against PC419, one of the top contenders, well, at least how we were crowning PC419 back then. And it was a 7-3 performance, so a few questions there to be raised, really.
Yeah, and so something I actually want to touch on that you were just talking about is Blessed only have one win under their belt right now. It was, luckily for them, on Oregon, but it was against ShadowNet. And looking at the leaderboard right now, if you're gonna have one win so far, the ShadowNet's probably not the team you want if you want the most value out of that win for power rankings. So maybe that'll change later on, but currently Blessed, statistically, if there's any way you're looking at betting on this match right now, you're saying it's a Ferox 2-0. So yeah, maybe Bless can come up with some surprises here, but really, if we're going to see anything, it should hopefully be on Oregon, with Blessed having it their map as their pick.
And there we go. The very first matchup for tonight, for this week. Going to be kicking things off right on that very map, that is Oregon. Personally, I really like Oregon, just the way how it can be paced, some of the sites that were reworked, and just the general kind of look of it. I definitely quite enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely the feel you get of maps that are recently reworked, or the team has recently had a chance to touch up on them, or even just recently released maps. So it's quite nice to get that modern feel in the game, and so it's always fun to start off the night on such a crispy looking map here. As we get through some not so crispy bans, I mean, Thatcher is, he's always going to get banned out here. IQ, though, is a little more interesting. You don't usually see that one banned out, but still a very powerful operator, so it's not too surprising to see it come out.
Yeah, IQ, especially as of recently, has been seen quite an increase in the pick rate due to her G8 being an absolute beast of a weapon. I mean, 50 rounder, high rate of fire, you can a very manageable recoil and an ACOG. Boy, I mean, that's all you really need for all your fragging abilities. To talk about the defensive bans, though, Clash is the one that is getting banned out with Mira, but Mira can continue sitting on the bench. But Clash is an interesting one.
Yeah, so was Clash picked up by Ferox last week? Because I'm kind of getting the feeling that she was. It's kind of in the back of my mind right now, and so I think that would probably be the reason that the ban comes out. But is there any other reason that you would throw out a ban here unless it's a target ban?
It could be partially just due to the fact that, well, Ferox potentially just don't want to really just verse against the shield operators. Given that BLS already bringing in a Montaigne, it already shows that BLS are going to be bringing some of the rather more passive kind of aggro operators to kind of take some of the attention off the main push, whilst Johnster is swapping out from Thermite onto Maverick, should be able to get the breach done fairly quickly. So it's rather just to kind of take away that advantage that Blessed could have at the very least on defense, because Clash, if you pair it with any of the more aggressive operators, she is going to be extremely annoying to deal with, especially if you say like position her right before the ADSs, so you cannot really spam her with the flash grenades or frag grenades or the Zofia stun charges. So the only kind of way to do it, to deal with it, will be either the Capitao Firebolt or the Kali Sniper Rifle to just make her make Clash flinch with the shield.
5 seconds to
Yeah, and also not to mention how annoying it would be if you're trying to do a push with Monty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure, you know, Monty can handle it, but anyone behind him, anyone who's like slightly out of angle, it's just super annoying. Just get it in the bin right now. It sort of depends if Blessed are going to continue doing Monty, even if it doesn't work here. But here we go. Let's kick it off here. Vodafone, thank you very much as you bring us round number 1 here. Oregon, Blessed versus Ferox. And they're already kicking it off nice and tight. That's a C4 already on the wall, next the window as well. Are we going to get anyone falling for the trick here? It doesn't look like anyone's going to be walking into it, of course. Unfortunately, Todd's going to be all upset about it. But it means they may have a good idea that someone is sitting right around the corner here.
Yeah. Main thing here is the fact that right now Todd, yeah, there is full knowledge as to where that Valkyrie player is, but he is in such position that it's going to be very hard to really pressure him out of that position. There's not a whole lot of angles that you can really push up onto him, really, and that Zofia might have a few issues there, but the drop down will actually going to be seeing Todd drop down from his safe position, and that's ASC that is actually going to be shooting him from behind. So solid beginning here for Blessed as they taking full control of the large tower, and well, up next is going to be Warden.
Yeah, so already, like you said, a good start. They've got a pretty easy way to breach it here with Monty just sitting in front of Maverick right now. So it should be easy enough for them. Also, apologies if I lagged out a little bit there. I think that happened. But continuing on here, yeah, they're just going for the breach.
Yep, just fairly standardized breach. For now, it's just the job of Johnster really to get the breach going, and then the Hibana pellets are going to be saved for potentially either the south attic wall or maybe to breach into the kids, as right now the main pressure is coming out onto Goyo. 45 situation right now. There's the attempt to throw in a frag grenade, but it will be chewed up pretty swiftly, pretty quickly. But fantastic bait. Johnster will be finding the the second kill here, as the pressure is now starting to ramp up. But Sushi with the order is ready there to refrag, and Monty won't be able to really do a whole bunch of things. And well, the smoke grenade is going to be dealing quite a hefty amount of damage as well. So here right now, things might be looking a little bit dicey for Blessed Esports if they're going to keep on pushing through the same position. Ferox now gonna be waiting for the push. There's the stun grenade. ASE picking up another one. That's already a double for himself, as that headshot will be just saucy enough. Sushi is getting pressured even more. That Vulcan shield is now not going to be playing in his favor as well, as he's going to be pressured even more so. Grenades are going to be flying in. There's the fire damage as well. Sushi with the ult that keeps on spraying, and well, just like that, it's one more person as well. Sushi straights things out, and well, Detra is the one to close it out. Ferox in a 2v4 did manage to close things down, and that crossfire was just absolutely phenomenal there. Smite. We still having a little bit of a issue there, but yeah, slight tech issues, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon us as we just kind of keep on rolling with the punches there. But meeting hole in kitchen will be the next one to be played out. Interestingly enough, not laundry as usually could be seen, but meeting hole in kitchen has been becoming more and more so of a very favorable choice for a fair few teams for the defense. But interestingly enough, it won't be the Jaeger Womai combo. It's rather going to be an introduction of Mute to the roster as well to just deny even more of the info gathering, given that while on the top floor you may need some droning here and there, but generally all the hallways are pretty like pre-fireable, whereas here you definitely need full knowledge as to where each and every bit of the utility, each and every operator is, so that you can at the very least have some pre-planning to go for yourself. Now, Smite. Houston to Smite, can you hear us?
I mean, I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
Probably still lagging a whole lot though.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed for Mr. Ross here.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Really
5 seconds to insertion.
things back into the play.
Attackers objective is
Yeah, Ferox right now just sitting pretty. That was a pretty confident return for themselves. That was a pretty confident comeback as well, points-wise, on the previous round. So here, they are going to be actually setting up yet another vertical hold as well for some vertical control, and genuinely curious to see how will this impact further down the line the whole round, because usually, at least what we saw previously, is people playing really kind of one-sided, one-dimensional defense on kitchen meeting. Little push here through from BLS. Right now, just it seems that they just gonna try to apply some pressure on the first floor hallway into the kitchen, as Deptra hasn't been droned out, but will be seen by the Monty, so that position has been called out, and some maybe help signals will be out there for some of the pre-fire possibilities. As there's the knowledge, there's the headshot. Fantastic play by Deptra to keep on just holding down the left click, really, and Space Prism to go down. That is the buck as well, which could have, but won't help Blessed Esports to gain any vertical pressure, at least just yet. Hamio is the next man on the job, and well, for now, it's a little bit of a detached kind of attempt to push. ASC and Johnster are close by to the side, so they have taken control of the dining, but can they take control of the kitchen though? Now that is the bigger question. Meanwhile, we'll be holding angle in the security room, as Todd with the goo mines should be able to keep the onslaught of the attacking players rolling, but no, he's hitting pretty well. There's the pre-fire as well onto the Zofia. That is a kill onto the Monty. Monty is now fully isolated, and boy oh boy, things are not looking all so pretty here for the French operator, as there's the pressure, but oh, fantastic bait by ASC at the very least is able to trade things out, as also unfortunately Deptra is going to be taken out shaded with a bit of a friendly fire, but even with that 3v1, things are not looking genuinely well for ASC here.
But you know who things may be generally looking well for? It might be me and my internet connection.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna jump right back in here, and ASC is gonna give us a little bit of a moment, or actually maybe he won't, because he's got Johns to back up.
15 seconds
so
remaining.
No time to
Attackers
catch our breath here,
recovered the
Cthulhu,
diffuser.
as they're gonna make the push here with 10 seconds to go. And now they go
Attackers
for it, but
found
it's
the
right
diffuser
into
has
the
been
line of
dropped.
sights, right into the claws and the clutches of Ferox as they pick up round number 2 here. So real quickly here, Cthulhu, because I was messing around with my internet here. Catch me up. What's been going on? What's been happening?
Well, really, Blessed Esports did have an attempt to try to go for a bit of a one-dimensional push. Ended up losing fairly early the Buck player, that is a Space Prism, who was supposed to go up above and kind of wreak havoc right above the kitchen. And Ferox pretty much did everything possible to really just get themselves into the most comfortable positions. Big play was made by Todd as he was able to kind of be able to sneak past the Monty and Zofia combo who was going up above. And, well, yeah, it's just they were able to kind of separate each one of the players of Blessed Esports and take them out in those kind of favorable gunfights in 1v1, and yeah, it's just Blessed barely even managed to get even remotely close to the side and got pretty much demolished.
Yeah, and I can just look at the top of the scoreboard right now and see Ferox 2-0, and it's kind of how I expected things to go by this point right now. Ferox are getting the results that they're kind of expecting it. Maybe things have shown, I don't know, a taste of perhaps things to change by Blessed, but right now they're going to show something very different to kind of crunch their way through Ferox right now. And you know, anyone could have told me that at the start of the match right now.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, it's currently on Blessed to change things and show us something different.
5 seconds to insertion.
This is their kind of, this is their time, I suppose, to shine
Attackers are moving out to locate
against
a bomb
one
and
of the
defuse it.
rather bigger teams here, because their previous matchup, it was quite a demoralizing, I would have to say, loss, because they were playing against Bans, who back then were the only team that I believe didn't have a win or had like a single draw and then all of the losses, and they were able to take the 2-0 dub there for themselves and propel themselves higher up on the leaderboard. So here, this is kind of their, I suppose, the revenge tour, the road to redemption for Blessed Esports, as they need to make that big return. Whereas Team Ferox, well, they're just looking all swell, all nice, just not really too bothered by the fact that they, by even the sheer thought that they might be losing out at some point, one way or another, on their plays. Well, laundry room defense shouldn't really prove too hard for them to really play it out. As Shade with that shotgun, that barricade is a very powerful position to play off. Because the moment some of the breaches are starting to be made, this is where you can leverage that angle, especially with the shotgun, especially up close and personal with that one-shot kill potential. It is a very gruesome position here to play off as a defender. Well,
Bomb located by attackers.
we are going to be seeing, once again, Papa picking up a frag for himself. That's a double one already from the very same position as well. That's Shade and Warden. The Kayed and the smoke gone, but Todd, fantastic frag, but already got blinded. But oh, the crossfire as well. And Todd will be able to get the finishing kill as well with the C4. Papa to go down. It is a 3v3 situation, but finally, Blessed Esports has managed to actually make the push here, but Deptra is just too powerful with that 416. Another one bites the dust. The Space Prism also falls down. Is the last man standing once again. Johnster will be trying to get a frag. Does manage to find a shot onto Todd, so that is one less angle to really bother about. But there's still full health Sushi, full health Deptra. Things not looking really well for Johnster here. He's out of the flashbangs. He has 2 of the X-Kairos pellets, so he should be able to make things work here for himself. But really, ultimately, it's just not looking well for him. 30 seconds, he needs to go in for the frags, because I don't think the defense will be able to allow him to even get an attempt to plant it. Well, Deptra will be the one to finish him off. Well, just like that, so far it's been a 3-round domination by Team Ferox. No matter how many frags Blessed so far were able to find, it's Ferox that keep on making the big chunky comeback as part of their kind of the role, I suppose. Because yeah, it's definitely looking quite favorable for them, and let's just say I'm still feeling a little bit skeptical about the fact that BLS picked Oregon as their pick, but I haven't gotten, unfortunately, to see which maps got banned by which team, so maybe there was a ban that was done by Ferox that prevented, say, a map like Villa or any other map to be picked by BLS. We will be making a return to the kids' bedroom. as Ferox will be bringing in just about a similar setup, minus the fact that they're just going to be having a few players just come around to get the rotation going, and the drones
10
will be there
seconds
to
remaining.
provide some information, and the fact that there is going to be a Jaeger
5 seconds to
ADS
go.
at the top of the tower. And as soon as
Attackers must locate and
all the prep
defuse
is
the
going to be
bomb.
done, well, that wall is going to be closed off pretty quickly, I believe. Sushi, have another camera, but no, actually, instead, this wall is going to be kept at least soft for the time being, as we're just going to be waiting for the peak, as nearly managed to catch a kill there, but will be promptly falling back. And, well, whilst we're waiting for Mr. Smite to come back, I do apologize for all the technical issues once again, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, internet has not been very favorable for one of us, and hopefully we will be seeing a return of Mr. Smite. But for now, Blessed once again applying pressure on the on one of the windows, as C4 will be flying out and swinging out. There's the pre-fire as well. Todd on just about 65 HP will be forced off his rather more aggressive position. Tries to apply some more pressure onto Monty. Actually can hit a few shots. Ooh, does actually tag up even more. Just onto that multiplayer. The C4 should be dealing some more damage as Papa finally pressured out, and that is no more, at least for now, no more pressure from below onto Todd, and his position is going to be staying crispy as usual. I mean, we'll be picking up a shot onto Deptra, so that is the big fragger, that is the big roamer gone off board. While Todd is still being pressured from even more angles now, as there it is, some shots being traded there, but ultimately it is Hamio that will be finding that shot. That Blackbeard shield is just doing absolute wonders for the man, as that is Todd going down. But as I was blabbering on about that, ASC was the one that got taken out, so all down to Johnston to do the heart breaching duty, as Hamio and Space Prism will be the ones to kind of try to spearhead the push there. But there's still plenty of ground that is remaining here for Ferox, and well, Warden, Sushi, and Shade are still very much full on health, and they still have plenty of bullets, as well as I believe some of the utility. Shade, I'm pretty sure, still has all three of his gas grenades there, and oh yeah, all three, so they should be able to deny plentiful amount of time from that push, as Warden will be giving out just a whole bunch of information. And well, yeah, but these sports are not looking pretty right now at all, with 24 seconds remaining. They need to find another pressure point, or Johnston rather will be just trying to force open the walk-in closet wall, as those Hibana towers will be starting to blaze right through the reinforced wall. And well, with 7 seconds, another body drops on the side of Blessed. Free fire comes through, as that box mag will be burning through all the lives, and well, it's Shade to close it out. Route number 4, and it's a 4-round lead for Ferox here. Alright, Smite, how you feeling?
Yeah, you see, I'm feeling pretty good.
You're feeling good.
I said that last time, so we'll just play it out. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
And, you know, you guys can have as much as me as fate will allow. So for now, it looks like we're on round 4. We've got 4 wins under Ferox's belt, so pretty much the exact same thing happened last time. You know, I took a little vacation. I came back as 2 wins under Ferox's belt. Nothing too surprising so far. And so with another 2 rounds to go to close out the 6-0 half here for Ferox, I mean, I'm still not even surprised, right? This should be exactly the kind of thing that they're doing. I'm gonna stop talking about what I just said, because Nook just won. And that is awesome.
Oh yeah. Nook is a really good idea here for Blessed, given that so far they've been pretty much showcasing from the very beginning where exactly they're going to be pushing, so Ferox could rotate all of their manpower to that very same position and just going for some of the gunfights. Hamio on Nook should allow a really good flanking capabilities, that's 1. 2, he has the frag grenades, so that's another way to really get rid of some of the rather cheekier positions. And 3, he will be barely hurt. if he makes the if he picks the right point of entrance, because whilst the rest of the team is trying to kind of take some pressure on themselves, there's Hamio that could be the big deal breaker here for Blast Esports.
Well, maybe we've got some time to stick around this time, as we had a little worries. The prep bay is now over, and look, yeah, it's going to be the fun thing to watch here, as Hamio is going to have a lot to go on him. It's definitely a risky pick here by Blessed, but I think that's the kind of thing they need to go for here to take down Ferox.
Yeah, for Ferox here, they're going to do their best. It's interestingly enough, it's Papa and Hamio, so Hamio is going to be the one to kind of keep on scouting out in front of him to try to find some picks, and then if he is able to find the pressure point where he could go in for to continue swinging, Papa could potentially help him out, but it seemed that they have split up, so Hamio is going to be the one to try to make things work here. The pre-fly comes through. Deptra takes a chunky amount of damage, but that FMG9 just doesn't have enough damage to really keep and get the kill with the body shots, and instead it's Papa that is going to be finding the shot onto Shade. See, to keep on finding the shots. Papa is also keep swinging it on once again. We're looking pretty good here for Blessed, as Ferox will be falling apart, and Blessed finally, after 4-round loss, finally finding themselves the big win. Funnily enough, off that very play that Papa and Hamio had between their Ash and the Nook, so it should be a pretty good play from here on, as they were able to kind of introduce a little bit of that element of surprise for Ferox, as they're gonna keep on guessing on what could be played next. Papa to switch up from Ash to Lion, interestingly enough, so this could be a very potent choice to really play it out. But yeah, we saw with Blessed before, we saw some really good occasional adaptations, or at the very least attempts to really change things around, but it also could be the sign that they may be getting a little bit desperate here. But who knows? At the end of the day, we will get to talk to the players post-match, so one way or another we'll get to ask them some of the choices there. But for now, it's going to be Laundry defense. Ferox to bring in just about the similar lineup, whereas on the side of Blessed Esports, like I mentioned before, it is going to be the Lion pick that is going to be the big wild card.
10 seconds left before insertion.
New opening is going to be made.
Attackers objective is to
Freezer
locate
as
a bomb and defuse it.
Once again, a few peepholes going to be made, a few rotation holes for Ferox players, as Deptra is going to be trying to be playing a little bit more aggressive, but it is Papa that is going to be extra aggressive, as the defenders are being caught with their pants down, just as Papa as well. Oh, that's a full-on mow down here. The Alder is just going to be dealing so much damage, as 2 people mowed down, and Hamio is lit up as well. Todd to also find another frag somewhere off screen, and well, trading out 3 people for a single person and some damage on the Maestro. Boy, oh boy, this is not great. This is not good at all. As ASC is now going to be trying to make some pushes here off the back as well of Hamio's push, but Fantastic Flick right into the head of Deptra will be applying the man advantage. Make it 2 as well. ASC making some moves here to ensure that BLS are going to be staying in the competent form here against Sushi and Shade, who are just about even lower probably on the total health pool as right now. Oh, Sushi. Oh, he's not going to be having a good time, but so is ASC as well. That gas grenade is dealing quite a whole lot of damage, and that Shade needs to be extra careful about his peaks. He's the only one who's with a full health, and he can take a full-on gunfight here. See, holding an angle this time. Ferox, both players are very knowledgeable. They know that they need to play it carefully, as Hamio does manage to find a shot onto Shade. This is looking very clutchable now for Blessed Esports. So much time to play off, and right now for Sushi, he will not have a single chance to really play it out. And well, Hamio, after a bit of a plant bait will be able to close it out once again. BLS on a 2-round streak now, showing that they're ready to really make the play, make the push, and potentially push this into an even more competitive scoreline for themselves. Well, 2-4 scoreline. Still a very good showcase for Ferox after they managed to get themselves at the end of the first half a 2-point lead, and we'll be seeing themselves now transition over to the attack. They will be attacking first the kids' dorms, as they are deciding to bring in a slightly different lineup, as we are going to be seeing Iana once again to be brought out there for the team.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
And
defused by attackers.
as well as that, it's going to be only a singular heartbreaker that is going to be Deptra on the Maverick. And Maverick probably, well, for this very side, I reckon that's all that you really need, especially if you need to just breach only two parts of the, two patches of the wall. One, say, to go into the attic from the main tower, and then another one to say either go into the main hallway at the top floor, right outside of the armory stairs, or into the walk-in closet of the main out of the main bedroom. So a few ways for the Maverick plays to come through, but the main thing is going to be the fact that also Shade didn't really prompt to bring in the frag grenades. Instead, it's smokes that will be utilized here. So I'm assuming some aggression to be utilized here by Ferox, maybe? We'll see. The action phase has started up as Warden ready on to find some pressure onto the gaming part, the hallway on the second floor. As the gas grenade will be used now, this will be showcasing that ASC is just playing on that very up close position and utilizing all of his gas grenades a little bit early on into the gunfight to take a little bit of damage for his troubles, and you used up 2 of his smoke grenades, and for that hassle as well, Space Prism took quite some punishment as well. So, but now for Ferox, this is rather the game of trades, at least damage-wise, are somewhat even, but Sushi, funnily enough, prompted to not actually even go for the pressure, the attic from the main tower. Rather, it is going to be the main staircase, the armory staircase, and the armory itself, which will be seeing the pressure come from.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Ferox looking like they might just be able to get the plays going. Already 3 plays so low that only a 2-round burst will pretty much result in their fairly swift demise. As Deptra is starting to get to work on that walk-in closet wall. That wall patch should be going down anytime soon, but he does not have any cover here. He just might be able to get pre-fire, but just as I said that, he's able to run away from that position, and that frag grenade should ensure either the breach at the wall, or at the very least whoever's playing very up close and personal with it take quite some damage. Sushi, another frag grenade to be utilized. The shotgun will be busting out as even more damage will be dealt. ASC is now even low on health, but he is able to take the frag for all of his troubles, and right now things are not looking so pretty, but Warden does manage to find a shot onto Papa. A quick burst will be getting rid of ASC as well. Johnston and Space Prism are also very low on health, and all up to Hamio to really take some of those rather more important gunfights here. Shade start going in for the plan in the game room, and Hamio is just starting to finally achieve some of the greatness, but will be very promptly shut down there by Deptra. Johnston and Space Prism to try to make the play here in the post-plant situation. One goes down. There's one more remaining. Space Prism not looking so fresh here. Time is running low. Health is low. No utility whatsoever. No impacts. No information really to be gathered there. He will be trying to get the flank and then maybe get some surprise factor going for himself. But surely he will be able to hear some of the footsteps. And well, same goes for Deptra. He can hear that. Round 7 to go into the hands of Ferox, and that is a 5-2 scoreline once again. West Esports. Now, need to really pick up the pace here. They were able to make a play. A bit of a... Ooh, I think we might be having a little bit of a technical issue there, ladies and gentlemen. Just... I have to see a bit of a... wee bit of a rehost, the Rooney. You come through. 5-tick boys, let's go. As yeah, I believe we got a bit of a server crash, so we might just be a rehost to come through. And for now, you might just need to look at our faces at least, whilst we also trying to get Mr. Smite back on the microphone. And yeah, it is going to be still replayed, so we, at the very least, we managed to lock in the laundry that will be played out as the second defensive site for Blessed to try to hold. Whereas for Ferox, I mean, they looked pretty strong on a laundry attempt to defend, albeit it was a 50-50 success rate for themselves. And for the offense, I mean, so far they looked quite strong, quite powerful on some of the frags, some of the plays, and oh boy, hopefully we'll be seeing a bit of a quick fixture to the to the game. As yeah, this is seems that we might have had a bit of a break there for on the game side, but yeah, we will be returning back in just a little bit, as we are going to be just fixing up our technical issues. Don't go too far away. We will be back with a continuation of Ferox versus Blessed in just a few moments. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege. Blessed versus Ferox. Coming around round number 8, as we are just fresh out of the rehost, as it will be laundry to be picked, and BLS right now on a 3-round deficit against Team Ferox, as things are looking a little bit dicey for them, but hey, maybe they might be able to make some things work here for themselves. Whereas for Ferox, well, so far it's been more so of a walk in the park for them. Only 2 points remaining until they might be able to claim the map number 1. And, well, yeah.
Attackers need to locate and
it's just,
defuse as many bombs as they can.
At this point, seeming to be just a matter of time. Whereas for Blessed, they're going to be going pretty much into every round, thinking about it as more of a bit of a challenge there for themselves. Just to see how far can they push themselves, how far can they push the scoreline, and how far can they push the opposing team to maybe find that one weakness that they could play off really, really well. We saw a few teams having some issues when they were forced to play against Monty. Here, there was an attempt to be made by
5 seconds remaining.
there was an attempt to be made by Blessed to really force some of the Monty plays, but ultimately they didn't really bring a whole lot of success for themselves, so they didn't really manage to find any closure for themselves. So here on this very map, we and on this very site, we just might be seeing some very early openings. Just as I say that, it is Warden to find the shot into Hamio, who decided to go for a bit of a wide swing, but wide swung was his head that got pretty much taken off by that G36C. Meanwhile, Diptra is already doing quite some work on the
A bomb has
the
been
reinforced
located.
walls, as that C4 was a little bit botched, so to be able to deal any damage, and well, now it's all about the down to start doing so. Ferox, meanwhile, will be just, yeah, they just go for a calm drawn out. They have full control of the top floor of the main, of the big tower, and from there on, it's literally for them. They just need to really start taking those gunfights, isolate most of them, and see how they're able to really make their lead here. Shade once again will be making the play here this time. It's him on the Diana once again. Will be dodging bullets with the holograms. That's just an immense amount of information being gathered. And full knowledge about the remainder of the BLS lineup. 3 as Space President just takes a fat dip. His health pool, or at the very least for now, an unknown reason. And well, there's again, the diffuser has been planted. No response from Blessed. Only now, as I say that. A white swing by the smoke, but ASC is down. Now down to Johnstay and Space Prism to really start making things work. Now only Johnstay as well. Space Prism not looking too fresh, but will be able to actually pick up ASC, so it's back to a 2v3, make it 1v3, all up to ASC. He will not be able to do anything, as Warden is just relentless. He's not going to take any hostages. Will be able to close it out. Match point for Ferox. Round number 9, and it looks like we just might be seeing potentially the final round between these two teams on this map, as a 7-2 scoreline is certainly looking quite well on the horizon. The meeting hall and kitchen to be picked for what could be the final round, or maybe this is where BLS are going to be making the big comeback. We did see them before make quite an effort to push at least the scoreline to be 4-2 rather than the flawless 6-0 in their favor. So maybe this is where they're going to start trying to ramp up their comeback, albeit that it's still going to be quite a
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
quite an
as they
adventure,
can.
quite a task for them to do 4 rounds in a row without any more of the mistakes, because otherwise the only amount of points that they're going to be looking at is only 1, and even that is going to be quite a challenge, given that this is their map pick. This is where they performed actually fairly decently well against Shadownet, but even then it's quite a struggle for them. Bear with us as well, ladies and gentlemen, as
10 seconds to go.
unfortunately this might
5 seconds left before insertion.
having a few connectivity
Attackers
issues.
must locate and defuse
with
the
feed
bomb.
and maybe we'll be seeing, might be looking fixes for him further down the line in the broadcast, but for now, deal with my play-by-play as solo. Todd going in
Bomb located by attackers.
for the push downstairs, and that is actually a pretty decent idea. I have that slightly split up push, maybe say a 3-man push on the ground floor, 1-man push up on the top floor, 1-man push downstairs, just to kind of be able to gauge at least where are the whereabouts of certain players, and maybe this could be the reason where they could the reason that the partial success maybe future for Ferox.
Attackers have
Sushi
located a bomb.
especially close to Papa is actually running a suppressed, I believe, 416. Won't be able to actually spot, does actually spot the Jaeger, so Sushi's now going to be fully well aware, but so is Papa. Does manage to find a fantastic shot. Does spot another one. That's Maverick gone as well. Papa with a double kill already. That is just a huge play. Will be able to deal quite some damage for the Ash as well. And in a 4v3 situation, Ferox looking a little bit sloppy there. Maybe got a little bit overly confident themselves, but that stun grenade will be stating otherwise. But Todd, things are looking quite well overall as able to claim that gunfight. But yeah, so far BLS are just playing really passively. They're waiting for some of the rather more unconventional pushes, and oh, Warden is onto something. Warden wants that frag. He knows that there's somebody on the stairs. He heard a few footsteps. Will be able to claim the Vigil, say the Jackal. But Hamio is just too good. Hamio is just too powerful on that AUG from up above in the attic. Will be able to only tag up Shade, but with Shade right now, things are definitely not looking pretty at all. That older should be able to claim his life pretty quickly. There's that pre-fire in BLS. We'll be staying for just one more round here at the very least in Oregon. Round number 10 looming right above us, ladies and gentlemen. Still match point. Only one round remaining for Team Ferox here. They want really badly here to finally close it out. Just keep going into map number 2. But only time will tell as to what exactly we will be seeing here from both of the teams and what kind of performance coming out.
And I don't want to get your hopes up here, Cthulhu, but
Oh,
maybe
boy.
I might join you here for what
yes.
might be the last round. Maybe. We'll see.
Alright.
Alright. So,
Well, it's good to have you back, Smite.
I mean, it's so good to have me back
Defenders
that we're
protecting
already
bombs
blessed with a
being
Vigil
defused
pick as
by
well.
attackers.
That's always a real fun one to have on defense here. In fact, pretty much most of West's lineup is real fun on defense. We're even throwing in things like Ella, which I guess is fun if you're
Bomb
there.
located by attackers.
Maybe not so much fun for the attackers here for Ferox, but yeah, a bit of an overconfident one there by Ferox on the last round, getting caught out a little bit there. Unfortunate for them, but of course they've got that room for error. They've got plenty of room to make mistakes here. They're 3 rounds ahead, even with dropping that round, still sitting on match point. Remember,
10 seconds
realistically, all they care about here is grabbing that 2-0. It doesn't really matter how they
5
do it,
seconds to go.
because they know they should be winning this matchup here. They don't really have much to prove.
Attacker's objective is to
So-
defuse the bomb.
They should be fine here, coming in again on match point, but you can't really ever count West out here. But you can imagine the Ferox is going to be a little more cautious here on this one.
Yeah, Ferox got kind of slapped on the wrist for being a little bit too careless on that previous round, so maybe here they might be a little bit
A bomb has been located.
might be a little bit more cautious about their approach. They do spot a very interesting positioned close to kill, but that will be dealt pretty quickly by Warden. So for now, Papa, decides to tap away at Warden's face, and that is one way to really play it out, as that was definitely unexpected, at least for me.
Yeah, Papa just reading that play pretty easily. They're setting Blessed up again for a real easy hold right now. They've got rid of the Ash, so just a little bit of soft breach gone, but at least Sushi's still on the table. So Ferox still have plenty of room to make things happen here, but plenty of time as well. But 4v5 always takes a little bit of work, a little bit of planning here. Shade's going to open things up with a frag. This one's not going to bounce off the wall into his face, but still doesn't bounce into anyone, doesn't get any kills just yet. And they're just looking for the peaks, and it looks like it's starting to happen. Depth just found his first one on the Papa, getting Vengeance in fact as well.
Yeah, finding some vengeance is good, being able to draw things out, but right now the big play here could be coming out from Johnston. He's still yet to find a frag here after that after the rehost, as Vigil play could be working out quite well, but he just already exposed his general whereabouts to Sushi, but Sushi is already on the prowl. He wants to find that Vigil, and he knows that that Vigil is going to be locked down. That game will not be coming through, but thankfully for him, Vigil just ended up whiffing a few shots. Quick flick with the SMG will be solidifying the death. And well, that is all up to Hamio and ASC. ASC, fantastic swing there. We'll be finding get another frag, as just it's all seeming to be just about all over Red Rover.
Yeah, and unfortunately just shutting the Vigil roam down a little bit too hard there. Jones couldn't really find anything. Now it's just Hamio. The plant even going down now, so he's going to have to go for the retake. pretty unlikely to happen. He's got a few little murder holes to play around with, but realistically, with all that health he just lost, he's not going to win these fights here. Ferox looking pretty primed here to take match point. He turns the corner, he does get one, so he may make it happen here. Sushi's also got pretty much no health, just a sneeze will take him out. Turning the corner here, no, that was not Sushi, and that sneeze won't be enough here. Shade to wipe his nose and win the round here for his team.
And just like that, Ferox claim the first map 7-3 for themselves, solidifying at the very least 1 point already for themselves, propelling themselves even further on the leaderboard, at least pushing their positioning even further up on the second place. And definitely will now be gunning for first place that so far Exto have managed to really set up for themselves. And yeah, that's pretty much Oregon already all wrapped up, as we are just going to be kind of sending our eyesight over to Clubhouse, which will be the next map to be played out. Any kind of maybe general thoughts as to what we could potentially potentially seeing, kind of at least scoreline wise? What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, looking at Clubhouse, first things first, this is Ferox's pick, so they should be, in theory, looking stronger here. That was already a pretty, I mean, I want to say one-sided over on Oregon, but Bless did fight back a little bit. They did bite back, although a lot of it does seem like it did fall a little bit on Ferox, kind of messing up and Bless punishing it. But hey, look, sometimes that's just what the game's about. But yeah, going on to Clubhouse, you got to stick with it. It's Ferox's pick, so it should be even more one-sided. They are going to be swapping sides, going on to attack first, I believe. So, that can be maybe a little bit of a different story here, but I'm calling it. It's going to be pretty rough here for Bless. They'll be lucky to pick up more than 1 or 2 rounds, in my opinion.
You reckon it could be a quick one? Okay, I don't know. I feel like we might be seeing sort of a similar scoreline, 7-3, maybe 7-4 rather. I'm leaning towards that, because I don't think Blessed will allow Ferox to really just run away with the quick game. But at the same time, I feel a little bit dubious about the success here of Blessed, just off the fact how they played on Oregon here.
Yeah, and so with that, we do need to give the players a bit of a breather here. Of course, with all the tech issue shenanigans, it wasn't easy for them either. So before we get into map number 2, before we get into Clubhouse, guys, we're going to a short break. But once we return, we'll be back with the remainder of this match.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back onto map number 2. Cthulhu and Smite this time are back on the microphone. Right. So we've already seen a fairly swift win of 7-3 by Team Ferox here on Clubhouse. You mentioned that you would be expecting something across a similar line, so say 2 rounds total for Bless to really take out here. Any kind of thoughts that you wanted to elaborate on that one, maybe?
Oh, you want me to defend my opinion? Because I mean, I'm totally keen for that. Because again, let's reiterate on these facts. It's Ferox's map pick here for Clubhouse. Yep. They're now warmed up. They had a little bit of a taste of losing a few rounds where perhaps they shouldn't have. And so I think all those factors combined, plus the fact that they're the better team on paper, means they should come in here, not let these rounds slip away, and not really have any excuses for any rounds to slip away for any other reason. So,
all right.
In theory, yeah, there's a lot of reasons that Ferox should come in here and get a pretty swift victory. I'm not counting Blessed out at all. They're a great team. They wouldn't be here if they weren't, but this is a pretty tough matchup for them. This is a Ferox that is looking good, that's starting to get their momentum right now. It's still going to be a very hard matchup for them, especially just even to get more than a few rounds, like I mentioned, let alone take the win here. But again, I'm going to hold my hands up in the air and say, never count them out.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't count them out. In a similar fashion, what we saw last week when we saw the Bants versus Blessed, we were talking that Blessed technically looking a whole lot better. They have more points than than Bant, and they were looking like they could be the better team on paper, but alas, that really happened. So here, I'm in kind of a similar position. So I'm saying that Ferox, yeah, they definitely the favorite team in this matchup, just at least statistically. But I'm not excluding the fact that we just might be seeing the comeback from Blessed on Clubhouse, which is a much more known map, firstly. Secondly, this map has been played heaps more. And
that's
for
fair,
Ferox, there's plenty against Ferox, sorry, there's plenty of VOD material as well, compared to there's only a single time that it was played out by Ferox before. So this is kind of, I guess, my reasoning behind me saying that we might be seeing something along the lines of like 7-4, maybe even 7-5 if not the overtime. But yeah, again, that is also going to be on the back of the fact that could be Ferox, that could be, well, quote unquote, throwing some of the rounds.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, a lot of it can also be attributed to Blessed up rounds that they worked for, they earned for to pick up the wins there. But again, we're moving on to a different map here. We've also got Blessed on defense here to start things off. They did have a little bit of a better half there on defense on the previous map, but you know, why not kick things off with a peek, get the kill straight off the back, lose a little bit of health, but that's okay, because now it's a 5v4 here on the first round on Clubhouse.
That's a great start. That's a great start for BLS. Finally, they are able to kind of set the initial pace into their favor rather than having kind of Ferox dictated the whole time. So here, as well as the fact that they are also allowed to bring in the Clash, but that's going to phase in right and throw the shoot. At the very least, the Clash should be able to block out some of the grenades, some of the flashbangs, and that is taking straight out of the textbook of APAC North playthrough, where we saw a Southeast Asian team, Giants, utilize the Clash to really just block the grenades through the drone.
Just a moment. Was it going to be enough as Deptra goes in as well? They opened up the castle barricade too. Now the fire is coming in, but of course there's a big old shield in the way. Pretty hard to get through that. So Todd going to be locking him down, making sure he can't do anything. But he's got a cheeky little frag in his hand. And he throws it out. Doesn't find anything with it just yet. There it goes. Nothing found. However, the breach will be successful.
All successful. There's still Clash that will be blocking some shots and will be allowing maybe a peeking point for one of the defenders, as Denver takes quite a chunky amount of time. We'll be just utilizing yet another Brimstone charge just to make sure that there's going to be even more angles down there. One more avenue for the peak to come out, as well. That Thatcher should be allowing, first of all, getting rid of one of those Maestro cameras. That's one. Two is to force the Clash to pull back a little bit further up, and well, Shade is going to be able to emphasize this push, just that very play.
Deptra's super low as well. Like, he can't go forward because of Papa on Flash, but here we go. So she's found one as well, but now there's only one defender left. Only Papa on this Clash. And yeah, it's great 1v1, but there's not a whole lot you can do with this 1v4 situation right now. Ferox either gonna go plant or just get the easy peasy frag right in front of them right now. So opening it up, Ferox, round number 1.
Yeah, once again, this was a little bit shakier for Ferox, gotta say, comparative to what we saw on the opening for the first round in Oregon. But nonetheless, yeah, they still were able to have a really good recovery for themselves. Managed to really push themselves and just pick apart really the lineup. It seems that the initial kind of composure that BLS had was just really well set up. They had a good idea, but at the end the execution felt a little bit disconnected between all three of them, and that's what's seeming to be kind of the downfall of their roster here.
Yeah, and also you kind of started off by saying that was from the back foot, that was from a 4v5, so they caught themselves a little bit. They won from the back foot from the get-go, and so that's already saying good things for Ferox to pick up a round there at the end. It ended up being not so close at the end. You know, it was a 1v4 right at the end, so they still kept everyone alive. even throughout that whole thing. So what are we going to look like now that they've got all 5 members? That's a pretty exciting little thought here if you're a Ferox fan. For Blessed, maybe not so much. The hold was a little shaky. Again, the breach wasn't too hard to get through.
Bomb located by
Papa
attackers.
didn't really slow them down too much, or just not even
10 seconds
really
to go.
enough, and then just ended up alive in the end. So yeah, Ferox,
5
again,
seconds left
there's
before
some
insertion.
pretty good reasons to think that they're going to be able to take this one here a little bit easier. But again, it does come down to the breach. Now that Bandit's on the table, again, it's going to be a little more tricky for them to get done.
Yeah, Bandit on the breach is certainly going to be an obstacle. That is, if he's going to be able to deny the factory grenade. But oh, instead it's just going to be just cold hard kills. They're going to be done by Hamio, and that is the thermite gone. All up to Sushi now to do all the main breaching, and that is going to be generating quite a few issues there. The Ferox roster, given that, well, now firstly, yeah, there's way less possibilities for a breaching avenue. That's one. Two is now Sushi needs to make his way over to the main breach, and he will need to time his breaches very perfect manner as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stick over on his side of the map now. While Todd turns the corner into a few bullets, so he's already dropped down pretty low, tries to find some kind of wall bang, but just absolutely nothing as he pre-fires through the walls, finding nobody. And unfortunately, he's going to be all on his lonesome, finding nothing. Hamio trying to shoot across the angles as well, but still, Todd still sitting around. But now they found Papa from downtown, actually. That's a pretty good one to find. Is it going to be enough? Papa now not going to be able to slow the attackers down. Ferox should be able to walk on through a lot easier now.
Can I also just say the fact that Warden, instead of using the M72, using the LMG is also quite a scary thought, because he already has a fantastic aim, but also add up a 150 round magazine to that, and that is some spooky stuff out there.
Yeah, so many bullets. So many damages.
diffuser.
As the flashes go out, push begins. Or maybe not so quickly, just yet. Take us through, Cthulhu, take us through the final.
Final bit indeed, 58 seconds left to go as Sushi does go down to a fantastic angle. Hamio is just pushing so hard. He wants to find that win for his team, that early win, and this is exactly what could be done here. Quick coconut will be thrown in. Todd, the king of the frag grenades, is just going to be swinging right in. 40 seconds to go. Still got some time to really make the play here. As, oh, there's the spot onto the kite, and that C4 will be completely shut down. That potential for a double kill will be completely gone. All down to Johnster. He's still full health. Might just be able to get those frags going, but at the very least, he is able to really get himself at least a few maybe exit frags. Sushi and Todd are quite low in health as well, so those smoke grenades are going to be very powerful as well, especially against them, as Todd will be trying to go for the push. Sushi will be the one to try to cover him, and the most quick pre-fire could be also seeing the demise of the Hibana player. Johnster 2v1, well, won't be able to really succeed here, as Ferox will be scoring yet another one, but oh, so close this time. As things are starting to heat up, BLS looking to be getting closer and closer to the points that they need here.
Yeah, nice quick little 2-0 there. Again, it looked a little shaky there for Ferox, at least on the opener. Losing out Deptra right at the beginning, you know, Thermite as well. Pretty rough, pretty scary, but again, they come back from it. They shoot Papa from so far away, and that was a really good play by them. It bought them a lot of time. He's not going to be slowing them down on Clash. He's not going to be picking that up again here as we jump down to the basement, the Church and Arsenal. But yeah, it's just feeling like a bit of a march right through right now by Ferox, and they're still basically doing it with 4 players at the start of each round. So great by Blessed to pick up those kills at the start, no doubt. But I mean, are you going to be able to do that every single round? That's a bit of a hard question.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a tall ask here. But at the very least, they're going to be going down to the Church and Arsenal room, where they should have a pretty solid position to really just even go for an anchor defense. It's definitely going to be much more favorable for them to play comparative to Jim and CCTV, where
10 seconds left before insertion.
they could go for a few
5
occasional
seconds
kind
to
of
insertion.
wild card plays, wild card kind of flanks. But here it's just
Attackers
going to be
must
just
locate and defuse a
all
bomb.
the gunfights as close as they can actually get, really.
Yeah, so really we do get to just see a full-on 5v5 this time, which is kind of what I was looking for, to see how well Blessed can handle that, if they can still make it look close, if they can still find a way to do it. But yeah, I mean, looking at the comp, it looks very, very anchor heavy. You've got to do that. He's got tons of magnets that'll be built up over the round, but yeah, it's going to be a lot on his roam to see if he can find anything.
Yeah. Well, the row could definitely be coming through here for Blessed Esports. Todd, though, instead just, yeah, he decides to go in. I'm just with the thought of kind of, yeah, I'm just gonna shift W through the whole top floor. If I'm gonna face tank an angle, I'm just gonna face tank it. Well, thankfully for him, he didn't have to do it. So instead, that's a fairly early confirmation that there's not gonna be any presence up above, as seeing a pretty nice, pretty wholesome smiley face to come out with the usage of the Jaeger devices. Very nice. Thank you, Blessed Esports. Feeling definitely quite blessed there with that smile. And well, for now, all the memes aside, Ferox going to be starting to take control of the memorial. Sorry, the all the area above the memorial room and the church and the arsenal. Kepcher, meanwhile, is able to pick up the screen and get another frag for himself, as he already managed to drop him down. He doesn't care that he's a thermite. He just went full fragment mode. Same goes for Sushi. The Type 89 will be there to blast things off and blast Space Prism into next round, or at the very least for now, into the spectator screen. As the remainder of the Ferox roster is just about to start moving up. Papa will be forced off his position, as Shade is actually going to be going down for the plant. No C4 will be flying in, as the 416 suppressed god that is Papa will be attempting to make things work, but 2v5. Ultimately, not a whole lot of things can be done here. There's the crossfire to shut down the Maestro's rotation, and there's another one already with the guns aimed at the blue tunnel to shut down Papa's push. Third round to go into the hands of Team Ferox, and this is by far was probably one of the more convincing rounds that Ferox could have played out here. And just maybe we might be seeing Smite's prophecy to really come through, but maybe it's a little bit too early for me to call that as well. Oh, for what it's worth, we're going to be seeing a return to CCTV and Cash Room for yet another attempt at the defense of BLS, as Papa once again will be bringing in a Clash. Clash has been actually, at least in my opinion, working out fairly well for BLS. They were able to slow things down on a few occasions there against Ferox. They were able to really start making and applying some good pressure to the roster, as well as that. Just able to kind of slow things down. The only issue is the fact that Ferox is just too dang powerful. They're just too efficient on their openings, on their clears, and it just doesn't seem that
5 seconds left
that
before
it's
insertion.
really working out for
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
for
it.
BLS. So maybe some trap matter be brought on board could potentially make that much needed difference, but as it stands, really it's gonna be Hamio once again to try to make some roams work, and actually just might be able to really make things work here. So we'll have to see, but as it stands, 5 versus 5, The 30 seconds gone, and I'm not too sure what is Shade attempting to do here. Oh, he's trying to bank in that EMP right when the floors are, and well, that actually lands pretty well. No, that one isn't gonna work. Pretty sure that's all of the EMP is gonna be extinguished here, so that is a little bit of a feels bad for the Thatcher player.
Just coming out of lag purgatory right now to say that EMP should totally destroy your friendly drones.
Yeah, that could
That's
be
exactly how it works.
Yeah, that
And that would
in
really
real life.
could happen.
Real life, that would be the play here. We just saw a bit of a sloppy, actually, rather, push by Ferox. Any kind of thoughts on that one, or did Purgatory not allow the view just there?
I think I'll let my lagging accent talk about that if it's happening right now. That probably gives a pretty good idea of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, at the moment things for Ferox are looking still fairly workable. I mean, 4v4, it's still a very even ground for both of the teams. There's still Deptra with the breach that will be coming through, so nothing is yet lost, as all the EMP charges are going to be pretty much redeemed here. And full control of the garage rafters will be ensuring just yet another pressure point against BLS, and some play from below is what Hammy are looking for, especially with Papo on board. That C4 and those gas grenades be working quite some magic there. Ferox, they're waiting. They know that there's somebody downstairs, but they're not particularly sure as to who exactly playing on the angle. Deptra finally does manage to find a shot onto Johnston, but so is Hammy onto Deptra. That is, once again, the rappel is completely gone, and one of the pressure points is completely denied. And while the plant attempt will be coming through, Shade actually going to be able to just switch out his positions. That the usual C4 spot will be completely denied. ASC, if he wants to swing, he could just find that frag, but no, a little bit too slow on that push, and well, should be able to find another one. Shade, fantastic double kill. All down to Hamio with this organ. Even he is completely clueless about the position of the Thatcher. Yet another round. 4 rounds in a row. Smite as Ferox once again pulling just about the same 4-round streak for themselves. 4-0 on Clubhouse on their own map pick.
I mean, it shouldn't really be too much of a surprise. Some very smart people before the match were saying this is what we were kind of expecting here. that it was going to be pretty tough for Bless to pick up any rounds. But yeah, Ferox right now are making it look pretty flawless. I think from the moment they got their real 5v5, I think it was round 3, that kind of really started to show, like, yeah, this is their map pick, they're in the advantage, and they show why they're the favorite team to win here right now, and why they're probably a team to contest Exto at the top. Once they pick up this 2-0, you know, if that's what happens, there'll be, I believe, only 2 points, or maybe even only a single point behind Exo. Of course, Morrow to pick up their own points, but see how that goes for them. But this is, yeah, Ferox's real chance to claw at the top, and they're showing why they can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious how will, further down the line, how will Ferox will be able to really make the play, make things work for themselves, because yeah, it's looking like they have managed to make that recovery from the draw streak that they had before. So maybe this is where they finally kind of all fully warmed up throughout the whole season, just know kind of the general pace of it. Like Sushi said, all of them are gunners, so maybe if you think the way the gunners do, maybe you will be able to find those early frags and just outplay them flat out. So maybe this is where we're gonna be looking at for now. But round 5 and early pressure by Todd could be meaning either trouble for Johnston or an early frag. There we go. Thank you.
Reloading now.
Wasn't for the drop down. It is Johnston once again. Will be striking right at the Ferox player. Able to keep his position in the secret stash, or rather the whole of the logistics office in his favor. And the drones to come through will be also revealing his position, at the very least the general location, as the Hibana of Sushi was able to get a glimpse of his foot, but just not enough time to really get that aim running and maybe find a frag. But instead it's just going to be just a bit of a slowdown, as they're going to be promptly falling back from that position. It is interesting also to know that if Ferox would have contested that very angle, that would have been pretty much that would have been it, because Vigil would have had such a fantastic angle to really play off that it would have been absolutely impossible to really play. But instead, just as I say that Vigil would have had a fantastic opportunity, it's Deptra with the bullet hole peak will be able to shut down Vigil just as he was trying to get that rotation done for himself. And yeah, it's just slowly but surely, maybe things might be once again falling apart here for Blessed. But as we just saw, Ferox did manage to make a move towards the church and arsenal room, and well, there's not going to be any walls that will not be potentially untouched. Space Prism once again will be attempting to get the bandit trick going, but there's also the Hibana charge that will be also opening up, so that is extra pressure being applied right onto the German operator. But there's minimal amount of time, 26 seconds left to go. It's just about to be an absolute bloodbath. Well, there's an attempt. The breach charge will be going off. There's the crossfires cluster, just truck of everything coming out. Sushi and Warden picking up the kills each, but there's Papa on the flank. He should be able to find those shots. He should be finding those kills, but no. Plant is actually going to be going down, and it's going to be quite successful. It's diffuser now planted, and the time now taken against the final member of BLS, Hamio, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the hour. He needs to make things work here against the 3-stack of Ferox. Some of those gunfights could be going in his favor. He is on full health, so he should be able to deal at least quite some damage, or at least get a few exit frags here before finishing the round. But right now, trying to get into that long distance gunfight, long distance relationship with that Zafia of Warden, but to no avail. Well, I was managed to find a shot into Warden, but whipping out the Keratos won't be really able to make things work here at all. It was quite distracting, some of the debris for poor Hamio, and well, Church will be fully falling down here for BLS. Ferox on a 5-round streak, and it does not look like they are planning to stop anytime soon, as oh, that prophecy of yours might be coming to fruition here.
Yeah, and again, like it really felt like maybe that would have been the round for Blessed to sneak one in, find a way back. They had them kind of up against the ropes until the final 20 seconds, but the last push by Ferox was awesome. They managed to get in there, sneak a plant, put the pressure back on, and suddenly they're in a 3v1 situation. From there, it was easy as pie, but I mean, this is really just looking like a stomp right now. There's not really much else to say at the moment. It is Ferox just coming in and demolishing Blessed right now. We've got the final opportunities here, and perhaps the final few rounds for Blessed to maybe get a few rounds back to get a little bit of honor, but I'd be honestly surprised if even that happened at this point. Again, this is just full-on respect to Ferox and how they're playing the game right now. They're just too on fire to be taken down by Blessed.
Blessed seeming to be kind of almost on a nearly maybe that kind of downward spiral where they
10 seconds to go.
just kind of gave their try, gave their best, and then just kind of
5 seconds
realized
to
that,
go.
well, maybe this is not their day. They score the points, so maybe it's just Ferox that are just one step ahead always. BLS are just making those attempts. It's honestly a little bit, not a little bit, quite a fair bit heartbreaking, seeing that they've gave a pretty good attempt there with 7-3, but here 5-0 the first half with Ferox attacking. that is definitely gonna hurt.
Yeah, I think they knew that realistically there wasn't a good chance they'd take a 2-0 or even a draw in this series. They'd be happy to grab the 1 win, like I was saying. But hang on, hold that thought. Warden maybe getting the first pick of the game, the first kill of the game on the Papa, but Papa will survive for now. But it's survival kind of in the same way Blessed is surviving this map.
Yeah, for Blessed right now, they need to just try to do their absolute best. Just to maybe even start just running with a few rounds here and there, just to see if they can make this match, if not their victory, at the very least, one of their better learning experiences. Because some of the teams, this is one of their first appearances on the larger scale competitions, and here for Blessed, at the very least, they should be getting quite a good lesson about how they can approach maybe for their coaches further down the line. It will be a good way to get an insight as to how some of the higher tier teams are actually playing things out. Because let's think about that at this point. Ferox are also one of the teams that are participating in the national level / pro league level in Rainbow Six, so they would have a heap of experience, and teaching from them how they can go in for the pushes, how they play, is also an amazing opportunity as well.
Yeah, and they're even throwing it back to them a little bit in some points as well. Maybe not so much in this round though, as Warden's already been taken out. Sushi and Deptra have been dropped quite low. Not quite as well as Papa though, so hasn't been all free for Blessed, but for Ferox, their final moments here in this round. Last minute to go, there's not a whole lot they have to work with. They still have breaching tools they need, or hang on, maybe they won't unless they bring Shade back up. They might need that EMP. Although I don't see any electrified walls that are still up. Hang on though! What? Who needs breach when you can just take down your opponents? Ferox are finding the kills right now, but they're still not finished just yet.
Not at all. Well, it's Shade to unleash his fury here, but yes, he has something to say about that. All down to him, the Goyo player, to potentially try to shut down things for even the flawless half, but things are seeming not to be really working out. So she's going to stick with the diffuser really as some damage being dealt. Ferox will be able to swiftly close it out. 6-0 is the scoreline of the first half, and oh boy, this is definitely not something that I would have personally expected.
Yeah, I mean, Ferox, they certainly are making it look easy today. They're certainly making it look like the reason we know that they're a pro team right now, what we should be expecting of them right now, and a team that is contesting, and if not arguably looking like big right now here in pro LPL Pro. So one more round here to clean it out. They're going to be swapping over to defense here. Of course, who knows? It's awful at defense here on Clubhouse, but I think we've seen enough of them here to know that it's probably not the case, and that Blessed are going to have to work 6 rounds in a row of surviving till overtime right now. But again, I think it is going to be all about that, trying to snag 1 or 2 rounds here, because really that's kind of the position that Blessed are in. So they're going to throw something a little interesting in the old Lion and Goku combo. A lot of fun. So they're going to try and just go for those peaks as hard as they can.
Yeah, the on the opposite side though, we will be seeing a choice of the Capcan as well side of Ferox, which should be a pretty interesting one, given that they kind of fully know that the Lion Dokui combo is the pain. It's an outcry. It's maybe a slight desperate hole there, or maybe just a mean hole there rather by BLS. But usually when you see the Dokui Lion, it means that of those logic bombs, of those E1D charges, there will be a whole lot of aggressive pushing. What counters the aggressive pushing? Well, a whole lot of traps, and exactly that Deptra and Todd are going to be trying to do. Those Capcan devices primarily are going to be the main offenders there. Even if a single person runs through them, that's already 60% of the health gone, and just literally a snap of the finger. And this is what I feel like we want the least, really.
Yeah,
The
and
attacker's
it can
bomb
be pretty
diffuser has been dropped.
easy to spot out the Capcom traps, but sometimes you just forget. Sometimes they're in a little
Attackers
tricky
recovered the
places. Sometimes they're creatively hidden as well. So West are definitely gonna have to keep as much attention on them as possible. But right now they're starting to go for these peaks, so gotta wait for the call on the logic bomb. Probably gonna be when they go for the first one. Here it goes. Lion popping it off. Here's the logic bomb as well. So the combos have been set. They go for the peaks, but so far have not found anything. No, through the wall. Hamio finds Deptra. That is how they start. Blessed, they're making the combo work. They've got it a few more times. How many more can they take out? Because Sushi's just ripped Jonestar out of here. No more logic bombs.
No logic bombs indeed. That is also no more either flashbangs or smokes. The DMR that could be ripping things apart. There's no more. Same as Space Burst, man. He just runs into that very fabled Capcan trap, as it just very unfortunate. Even Hamio is just at this point has a giggle about it. Only 2 men remaining, both the ASC and the Papa, to try to make it work. And boy, oh boy, this is looking like a 7-round streak for Ferox. A 7-0. The scoreline that neither of us were able to really predict, as you were predicting that even like maybe 1 or 2 rounds could be taken away, but it seems
hey. I want to step in here and say I was predicting they would be lucky to get
they would
more
lucky.
than 1 or
Okay,
2
right.
rounds.
Well, you
right?
you win this one then.
Yep, no, definitely win this one. So I got to win something tonight here. Ferox, they win their 2-0. And like I said, it's just business as usual. They're coming in here to get the kind of expected win, get the expected 2-0, get the points that they are just here to collect. Whereas, unfortunately for Blessed, like you said, hopefully the best they can get is maybe learn something from tonight. But it's good to see that they're able to have a bit of a laugh about it too, because there's not much else you can do in situations like this. Where Ferox have just completely prepared for this themselves for this match and just completely shown why they're dominant. They're gonna have to walk away with this one with as much as they can here, but unfortunately, won't be any points included in that.
Quite an unfortunate loss there for a very unfortunate loss there for BLS. But yeah, we are also going to be getting a bit of a interview to come through from both the teams. A little bit.
Who you got for us first here, Cthulhu? Who's
Well,
coming up first?
we got, I believe, Hamio to talk about that, but we're just in the process of getting that going up and running. Gonna get that underway, but yeah, the first things we're gonna be talking to Blist. After that, we are gonna have a talk with one of the Ferox members, and yeah, well, just about to get things on their way.
Yeah, I mean, keen to hear what Blessed are thinking. I mean, obviously, it's probably potentially going to be a little rough for them right now, but of course, like I said, they should probably have been expecting a result like this here tonight, or at least been, open to the idea that it will happen. So I definitely want to see kind of where they're at right now, and whether that's going to be kind of affecting their team right now. So I believe Hamio is almost ready.
Yeah, we're just about to be ready, so we're gonna transition to a different call. We're just gonna get it right on the way. Right. Hamio, first of all, welcome.
Okay.
A bit of a unfortunate loss for you gents out there. Any kind of thoughts or kind of what was going through your head or through the team comms whilst you were kind of playing it out against Ferox?
Well, we know that Ferox is a good team, and as shown there, they're better than us. And ever since pretty much the first week, I suppose, we've come to the realization that like this season is virtually over for us. Yeah, we haven't really been performing, but just that game there, we decided to have some fun, and just do what the game's about and just enjoy yourself.
So after that performance there, you guys had a pretty rough result, obviously. I mean, it sounds like you guys were sort of expecting it and maybe open to it happening, but how do you still walk away from a result like that and be ready for next week and make sure that you're on top of your game and not crushed mentally?
Well, at the end of the day, it's just a game. We'll try and work on some structure issues. Like that was probably our biggest thing. And well, they've been a team for a long time, and yeah, it shows with the results, like just how good they are. And they've actually, in fact, played Pro League, or as you know, or Australian Pro, and so like we anticipated the loss, but you can only learn from what's occurred.
So, the kind of the least kind of the least thing that you guys will be also walking away from is at the very least some VOD material to kind of go over through. What do you reckon? Like, say next time you would match up against Ferox, knowing that they could be very much still a force to be reckoned with. What kind of changes would you personally maybe make to your own performance, or maybe the team's performance, to kind of see some development for the better for the roster?
Probably the main issues were like we weren't really reading into their gameplay.
Right.
So if we can like anticipate what they would do or adapt to what they have done, then that would actually probably make a little bit more of a difference. Because we kind of just kept doing the same thing over and over again, kind of, as you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we just make adaptations to like fit our play style with theirs, and then like that'd probably assist in it.
All right.
Cool. One more thing from me as well is you guys mentioned that you say it's pretty much over for you guys in the league at the moment right now. Is the fight now about avoiding relegations?
Well, ideally that'd be good, but I suppose we're kind of fighting for like off bottom at the moment. So as long as we don't finish last, then that's at least something we can take away from it.
Well, hopefully for you guys coming into the further matchups, we'll be seeing some more good gameplay for you. Once again, best of luck in preparing for the upcoming matches. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you sometime soon again and get some more insights from you as well, man.
Yeah, not a drama. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
And that was Hamio. So
always full respect.
Yeah, full respect.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say always full respect to people that can jump into an interview after a loss like that. It's tough for people to do, especially when the question's going to be about the loss. Going to be realizing that. So pretty rough. But again, full respect for them to jump into the interview and give us a little insight to what's going on for a team in a position like that. So shout out to Hamio for that. But yeah, up next it's Sushi. Sushi's coming in, right?
Yeah, it is Sushi.
Right,
as I'm trying to find his Discord name, as it is quite unusual to say at the very least. Even his status says, "Good luck finding my Discord name."
I mean, I'm sure everyone's aware. Player names Discord can get a little hectic. You've got people that are just like, at Bob, are really easy to find, and then someone who's got characters that don't even appear on your keyboard.
Oh yeah,
and they're impossible to find. So I imagine he's one of them. But yeah, it looks like you found him. He's probably got some. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't have any of those on my keyboard.
All right,
Sushi, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have fun finding my name?
Yes, I had it this time. I actually had it in the notepad document, so I just copy pasted it.
Big brain.
Yeah, big brain. But first of all, congrats on the quick 2-0 win for yourself. Any kind of, I suppose, first impressions, maybe first reflections back onto the match where you could have done better? What did not go particularly well?
Yeah. Clubhouse. We definitely shouldn't have won some of those rounds. One round I definitely missed our individual, which was not good.
Was it the one where Vigil was in the logistics office?
Yeah. Todd wasn't happy about that one, I guess.
Oops.
I don't know. Club, I don't think they were playing their gunfights right, in a sense. They weren't refragging properly, so we just took advantage of that and pretty much won just by stacking against them on one side, obviously. And then, what was the Oregon? Oregon, we lost. We started losing like a control of the map. In a sense, we'd lose one pick, and then that would like cascade onto another pick, and then another. Like one round, we literally got flawless just because we were like, "What is happening?" So, I mean, props to them for like making sure to get the picks and actively peeking us, but it was a scary round, that's for sure.
It did get a little less scary though as the
Yes.
series went on. We
Yes.
got to map 2 and you guys clearly got the 7-0. But
Hmm.
I want to moving into the series. You've said before personally that any team can take you guys in fights. Any team can show up in certain rounds. So
Yes.
how do you keep the mental in check when you're starting to look at a 7-0? You're starting to run
Uh,
out of control. Do you guys get overconfident?
Overconfident for when West's like 7-0ing
Yeah,
or
when you guys are sitting ahead and you're already saying don't get too overconfident, guys, but then it starts happening.
it's okay. It's not about. I don't think it's don't get too overconfident. It's don't chase frags and don't do stupid plays, thinking you'll win it regardless. Because you win rounds like off your coordination, and if players start taking it upon themselves to, I don't know, aggressively peak something where they just didn't need to, just because they can, in a sense, because they're winning and they can lose rounds, like then you'll start to lose the map, I guess. So if you're keeping like your individual plays in check and making sure you play a consistent, structured game, you shouldn't have a trouble like going overconfident quotation.
I actually have a question about one of the couple of rounds on Clubhouse. I believe it was actually on one of the first few rounds when you saw that they were bringing in a clash and they were trying to block out the drone hole so that you wouldn't be able to kind of frag out or anything there. What was kind of going through the comms or through your mind when you first saw like them attempting what essentially giants in North APAC PL were trying to pull off?
Yeah. I don't know. We knew we had to take Garage first. I'm pretty sure we established how to push it pretty well, I think. The Clash, I don't know. We just completely avoided it in a sense and took it our own way, and they didn't rotate the Clash to our push, which I think was to their detriment. And then we kind of just won the round off that. Like, it's one less gun that you have to worry about, right? And you have someone just walking around with a shield, and if they're not even near the push, doesn't matter.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Smite, any more thoughts?
I mean, we've had Sushi on before, so we've already got a pretty good look into his mind. But always love having you on, Sushi. Just putting it out there. But
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, not too many other questions from me at the moment right now. Just the fact that you guys are now sitting right at the top of the table here, pretty much along with EXO. I believe it's like 1 or 2 points difference at the moment. Obviously, they play tomorrow night. But yeah, you guys are right at, very close to the top right now. So any thoughts from you guys before what hopefully is smooth sailing till the end of the season?
I guess you always want smooth sailing, right? But like, I guess we still have to be conscious of getting almost overzealous in a sense, because I do think LPL is like it's a scene where you can pretty much just lose maps because you're not watching proper peaks. Because a lot of these players are like they are mechanically talented in a sense and can take gunfights properly. So if you're just not cautious of yourself, like going into some of these matches, you'll often lose them. You can tell that we definitely did that previously. So speaking from experience, these guys can pretty much gun anyone they want. So it's got to be cautious of that.
All right. Well, thank you for the insights once again, Sushi. Always, yeah, like Smite mentioned, always a pleasure having you on the interview board. But yeah, congrats once again, and best of luck in the preparations.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, that was Sushi once again, ladies and gentlemen. So far, some really good thoughts, good insights. Just yeah, it seems that they finally managed to kind of find that right niche, that right road for them to kind of mentally stay in, whilst kind of climbing that ladder after a bit of a sloppy beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's true. But we do have to remember that this was one of their fair weather weeks where it was going to be a little easier to pick up the win here. So, this is probably going to be the easiest time to be in good spirits. So the true test is going to be when they play teams like Exeter
Yeah.
and anyone else up in the top four to really start putting them up to the test that we really need to start challenging Ferox with. But of course, that'll come in sometime, probably I believe in a week or two. But we do have one more match tonight, Cthulhu. And that one is going to be pretty fun because it's going to be Bance versus PC419. And that one's a little closer in the table.
Yeah. Well, we'll be seeing that in just a few moments as we're going to be taking a quick break just to set things up. But don't go too far away, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be back, and we are going to make a return in just a few short minutes to continue the action of LPL Pro. Hello.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LPL Pro. It's Rainbow Six Siege night here, Tuesday evening, the specialty. We've got match number 2 coming up for you guys here. My name is Matt Smite Ross. We've got Mr. Cthulhu here, and we've got PC419 versus Bands Gaming coming right up here. And we're going to be kicking it off with Villa as the first map, which is PC419's pick.
This is, I was thinking that we might be seeing a Villa-free Playday. PC419, yeah, debated me on that one. But yeah, this one should be, I reckon, a closer matchup comparative to what we saw in the first matchup today. And while the Villa pick is a fairly standard one, I believe PC419 definitely do favor that one. I'm just scrolling through some of the notes that I have to see whether they had any noteworthy performances. Yeah. At the moment,
does Sherlock take notes? I don't think he took notes. I think he just sort of
got mental notes.
Did it all in his brain.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what the TV show told me. I didn't really read any Sherlock books. They never really appealed to me, or maybe they were a little before my time. But as the bands come out, that's not really anything too surprising. Wamai though is a little bit interesting here, but still always a strong pick. So, again, not too much of a surprise. Yeah, did you find what you were looking for, Harry Potter?
Yeah, I found something. So the last time we saw PC419 perform on Villa, it was against Ferox. That's one. 2 is it was an overtime win for them. It was 8-6 win for them, where it was quite literally up until round number 11, it was straight central. Like, quite literally, for first 6 rounds, it was back and forth. Then we saw a 2-round streak from Ferox, and then a 2-round streak from PC419. And then was the overtime achieved, and the overtime was flawless for PC419. So Villa is an understandable choice for them. They have seen quite a fair bit of other teams play on it as well. So having Villa chosen is definitely shouldn't be that much of a big brainer there for them. So I'm curious how will they perform, because so far we've been hyping up 419 quite a whole lot, but they weren't really matching the hype that we were giving them. So maybe here against Bance, against a revitalized, by the way, Bance, who were able to score 2-0 against Bliss, maybe we'll be seeing them activated at their full strength. Maybe this is where they finally claim they get another win for them.
Yeah, but also maybe this is the time where Bance gets to rise up a little bit. We've talked up PC419 enough to kind of even just stop talking about them or stop hyping them up all the time. And now it's time to ask them to prove it, to come in here and say, look, we've got a lot of reasons to be excited about you, let's see them. But it's also Bance's opportunity to come in and say, like, okay, look, these PC419 guys aren't all that special. Let's show you why, and let's show you why we're better here. So they're going to kick it off on defense here. A few last-minute barbed wires are going to be going out here. Poor Jaeger, man. He's got so much to do at the start of every round.
Gotta allocate all the barbed wires. Gotta get the walls reinforced. Gotta get the ADSs as well. So yeah, there's quite a fair bit of things to be done in as well. On top of that, you got a frag as well. So quite a fair few roles there, quite a fair few things to be done there. But what has also been already done is Nate taking quite some punishment. What I only imagine is attempt to peek out through the window just outside of
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
trophy.
Yeah, and he may be caught out a little bit in here as this drone
Attackers have
has
located a
peeked him
bomb.
out a little bit. Noob should be looking to turn around the corner here, but hasn't been doing it just yet, so maybe Nate will be able to get out of here alive. Sage's drone has not found him anymore. Yeah, Nate's already booked it out of there. Completely safe, as he's made it super far away from the site as well, so he's even going to be out for a roam later on for PC419. They have to, because he is so far from the site right now.
Yeah, PC419 might have a really nice angle there set up, but what they're not accounting for is that flank that Nate is about to go in for. I don't think anyone is really knowledgeable. Yes, Agent is already pretty well right above side, pardon me, as I for some reason initially thought that this was the trophy defense, but instead it's dining. And well, there's the attempt at the peak, but Sajan is just Spidey sense was tickling way too much, and well, exactly that, he was able to find that frag onto the Mozzie. So early frag is in favor of PC419.
Down the road as well from Nate. So now PC419 have set everything up for the final minute here. They're just going to open up a few more doors, a few more windows. No roam to worry about at the moment. Maybe Lime Cordial somewhere, but I believe he was a lot closer. So now it's all on Vance. Hope they can hold down the angles. Anchor hard, but if you get caught out like that, apparently going to happen as well. So all things just falling apart right now for Vance. He's going to clean up the final round. The first round. Hopefully not the final round.
Well, PC419 starting strong. Definitely like what I'm seeing here. Sajan on that Ash has been quite strong even in the previous maps and matches leading up to this matchup. So here he might be given a carte blanche as to how he wants to play it out, how he wants to really take control of some of the positions. And what I'm liking from 419 as well is that they're going for a fairly aggressive lineup. I mean, look at this. So they got the Hibana, which is 3-speed, IQ 3-speed, Ash 3-speed, Iana, I believe she's 2-speed, if my brain is not completely fried.
It's at least 2-speed.
Yeah, at the very least, Twitch chat will tell me if my brain is cooked at that point.
She doesn't look like she'd be a 3-speed. Oh, yeah, sorry, a 1-speed.
A 1-speed, yeah. But yeah, and then you have a Sledge who's a 2-speed as well, but he's got a big sledgehammer to really carve his own path really through the whole of the building. So it's a lineup that is heavily based on maybe some momentum swings, maybe some aggression. So this is where the heart of their kind of plan going to be. Whereas on the side of Bounce, you're seeing ops like Mute, ops like Smoke, the Maestro. So they gaining some information whilst also slowing things down for the attack and denying the push and the information as well. So there's a great variety of ways that Bats can really play it out. Whereas for PC419, if they want to go for some of the slower peaks, I would imagine we could have been seeing slight changes to some of their lineups.
I like a lot of their options though. I like what PC419 can do. They've got so many options to clear out a room that get around how Bants handle that. Things like Mozzie and even Mute that block drones, just send an Iana instead. That gets around them pretty easily. So PC419 along with that just have so many good tools for clearing out these rooms. You can see they're starting to move forward. They've even got all the soft breach as well to get through the walls. They've got Ash, they've got Sledge. They can open up the doors and the walls if they need to. So all things considered, when peaking, they should have about as many advantages as they can get.
Well, talking about the advantages, it's Lime Cordial that is actually going to be getting a fair few frags. That's Sajan gone.
Oh, that's a diffuser too.
Down and out,
in the middle.
Yeah, that's diffuser bang on, right in the middle of quite literally the most open spot possible. So here for Nate, he was trying to hold out the onslaught, but the few free fires just ended up forcing him off his position, which is particularly what he would have wanted. But still, a two-man disadvantage is exactly where Bants want to find themselves. With PC419 just ended up trying to scramble around and work things out.
Gemini destroyed.
Yeah, the diffuser is now picked up by puns, so at least they've managed to get that. All the lines to hold it were pretty awkward. You could see Nate had to fall back pretty quickly from that. So PC419 have the tools to bring this one back, but still all the problems from before are on top of the table. You've still got Nate, who's being an annoying roamer. Lime Cordial is sneaking like a slippery little snake around here. And he should be able to catch anyone out that comes through here. Remember, there's only a minute left, so PC419 have time to think. They don't have all that much time to think, so especially with the fact that they're still outside. They're still outside and they've still got to find another way back in. So this approach, it's going to have to be pretty quick and pretty spot on for PC419 to get the 3v5 win.
Yeah, with Tesla now starting to work his magic here as well in gunfights, could potentially swing things out, but right now the time is definitely not looking in favor of PC419. 20 seconds remaining, another frag grenade to be flying in as oh so much precious utility being used up. 14 seconds, the breach needs to be utilized even more, but right now it's just an absolute flurry of kills. Smoke grenades are just going to be ran through. Noob to be finding another frag magically. 4 seconds remaining, one more frag needs to be dealt, or at the very least the plant needs to be going down, but no, the time is going to be running out, and Bants are going to be the one to claim round number 2 here.
Yeah, unless Noob kills everyone, and actually, hang on, maybe he is going to do it, but 0 seconds means that he's run out of time. Had no time at all to get to his opponent, his final opponent, and so unfortunately Bants will pick up the round there, drawing things up nice and easy here. So looks like now we got a bit of a contest on our hands here at Cthulhu, here on Villa. Looks like a bit of a fun fight indeed.
It's certainly looking and setting up quite a close matchup, or at the very least the setting for it. As, yeah, Bants looking a little bit revitalized here after what seemed to be quite a dominant round from PC419 in the first one. Second round definitely looked much better for the underdog team. Now they just need to continue upping their momentum here. This is where they need to make a statement, because Villa is by far one of the rather more played maps by PC419, and if Bants are going to be able to pretty much score the win, this is going to be first of all a big humiliation for PC419, because they were pretty much expected at this point to win this map. And 2, for Bants, this is yet another point in their pocket, and this is where they just might be able to overtake, I believe, PC419 if they are able to score a win.
Well, actually, on the leaderboard, Bants are actually ahead right now, because they've picked up, I believe, one more 2-0. In fact, they've got 1-2-0 at all. While PC419 have only got draws under their belt, and then one loss actually. So PC419 really need this 2-0 right now to kind of not only get back their glory, but also get out of the risk of relegation and maybe find a way back into contending for the semi-finals. Similar sort of thing for Bants. It is only, I think, a point or 2 difference, but Bants are not too used to this, right? I mean, they've been here before, whereas PC419, they certainly do not want to get eliminated early if they've got that on.
Reloading.
Yeah, PC419 being eliminated early is going to be quite tragic, given the results of the previous season. So yeah, here they're going to try to not repeat the history it's making. So Noob, while looking to make a play there, but instead it's rather Vlad on the push right onto the onto the Astro stairs. Will be able to find the shot onto Nate. There's still one more roamer downstairs whilst we're waiting for the final push onto the AVG to commence, but it seems that for one are not really phased, at least yet, about the location of that Jaeger player, and so instead we're just going to be playing a bit of a waiting game.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, PC4 still have a good amount of droning that they want to do at the moment, especially without getting caught out. They should have a good idea that Artie's just sort of around the corner here. Sage should be able to pick that one up with his drone, but for now it's just going to be Bants anchoring down, and it's definitely an agreeable kind of idea right now, because of course they've only got 4 people left. I think Lime Cordial is still roaming around a little bit. He was pretty far offside before as well. Another thing to remember is that diffuser is just sitting out over there, so PC419 still thinking a lot about how they're approaching this
Attackers
final
will
minute
cover
here.
the diffuser.
It looks like they've got it up, back and ready to
Attackers
go
drop
right
the
now,
diffuser.
but yeah, this is all on PC419 to not
Attackers
make the
recovered the
mistakes
bomb
right now.
diffuser.
Cordial, he's still out and about. Someone's got to find where he is and deal with him.
Yeah, because the moment they're gonna allow Lime Cordial to really make the big play here, the moment they allow him to get the flank, this is where he's gonna start wrecking havoc here. And whoa, Tesla completely ignored, completely left that position unchecked, and oh, that is gonna bite PC419 back in the back really quickly.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, so here he comes, Lime Cordial, starting to come out of his roam, out of his shelter. He's gone a very far direction and ended up mostly just linking up with the rest of his team, but still downstairs, still looking for anything he can with the stairs as well, but no angles, no surprises just yet, although just around the corner and the pings are out. He knows he's there. The pre-fire wasn't enough though. It wasn't at all. And PC419, they just commit slaughter. Artie tries to get something back with a C4, but so one-sided there for PC419.
That looked like it was rather not even a homicide. It's just full-on war crime what has been committed there by PC419 to achieve that victory. And well, that does most certainly grant them the second point in the matchup, or at the very least in the map. And AVG will be attempted as a replay, as it seems that Bants maybe are not yet convinced that maybe they could have done something slightly different to achieve a different result there.
Yeah, but I feel like they'd have to do something quite different there. That was quite a successful round for PC419. They set it all up well from the get-go. I mean, it did start off as a 4v5 with the run out there, but I mean,
Defenders,
even then,
protect your
sorry,
bombs
not the
from
run
being
out, the
defused by
early frag,
attackers.
the entry frag onto Bants, but I mean, even then, a 5v5, I don't think that's really going to be enough to stop PC419.
Yeah, they had a bit of a hiccup in round number 2 where Bants were able to really deconstruct the push, really able to slow things down, but I think that maybe PC419 has managed to kind of get a window of how Bants play. I really like how they responded and swung kind of the momentum the moment that
10
flank
seconds left
kind of
before
went down, because the moment they realized that, hey, Big Fragger is not on the site,
5 seconds
he's
left.
gone, going for the swing, going for the push, full collapse right onto the side, and it seems that Bats
Attackers
just
are moving
weren't
out to
able to
locate the bomb
respond
and
on
defuse it.
any of the angles, minus that C4, but even that was a bit of a kind of randomly timed explosion.
And yeah, so they've got a slight little lead here at the moment, which is quite nice. PC419, but they definitely want to get more rounds like that they just got on round 3. That was a pretty successful round. It all looked pretty fantastic. Pretty good reason for them to do it again, but obviously they want to slam that entry frag here to really lock it in. They can get that kill at the start. Should look like it did at 3.
Nate and Lime Cordial will continue doing pretty much what they will be continuing to do their job, roaming and try to cause some early round disruption, but it seems that the disruption is going to be rather in Nate's health pool, as Noob is the one to rid him of that. And down to Lime Cordial now on the solo roam, as he will be trying to wreak some havoc or maybe get a frag or 2 before either falling back to side or falling back into the grave. But now Sajin seeming to be once again a bit clueless as to where the Jaeger player be. He knows that there might be somebody, as he could have heard maybe a footstep or 2, but apart from that, really there's nothing to be done, as I'm a little bit
A bomb has been
confused. Why
located.
was the diffuser dropped there?
Attackers recovered
Okay,
the bomb
so
diffuser.
Vlad handled the handover. He's going to be the one
Attackers
to
have
try to
located the bomb.
kill the screens, but Lime Cordial is still there. And this time he might just have the perfect avenue for the flank, because this time I don't think Vlad will be able to react as fast as Sajin did. Just as they're going to be seeing the flank of the Lime Cordial come through this time.
Attackers bomb diffuser
Nicely
has
well
been
lined up
dropped.
shot, no pre-fire, no extra sound to be generated. And well, That's the IQ down, albeit a little bit later on into the round. So here, the breach is going to be starting to come through. Once again, minimal amount of time remaining here for PC419. They need to get the things on the way. But Tesla does manage to find the shot. Sajin is already pretty much right on side, but he keeps on swinging back and forth as tryhard to find the shot onto Tesla. Bance will be losing yet another one as that smoke down. Gunfight between Pan and the Maestro will be finding himself a kill, but Pan is the last man standing. 11 seconds left to go. Blind Cordial is the last man standing, and nobody will be able to stop Pan from even going for the plant, even if Blind Cordial will be swinging right onto the side. Full shift W mode, and now this time it's going to be another retake for the defense as in a 1v1 situation, Blind Cordial has just about the same amount of health as Pan, so the same amount of damage needs to be dealt to both the parties. Through. Cordial doesn't know which side to approach really from. Have a whole lot of peek holes as well. The Pan is not really exposing any of his flanks really in any shape or form. As a couple of pre-fires come through to indicate where Line Cordial might be coming through. The Vault will be now exposed. There's the peek as well. He does spot the pixel, but Pan is just too good on the pixel peeking, and he will be the one to come out victorious. As round number 4 concludes, we are going to be seeing PC419 to continue their push here. 2-round differential now going into their favor. Will be definitely spelling out quite a bit more confident position here for... definitely spelling some confidence for them. Sorry, slightly blanking out here. But yeah, Trophy will be the next choice to push, and Trophy last time was the site where Banter were really able to bring in the heat to PC419, so maybe here this is exactly what we're going to be seeing here as well. But the main attraction, the main interest point is going to be that Nook pick that PC419 brought in, as Tesla is, I believe, going to be the one to be bringing
need to locate and
the
defuse as many bombs
Danish,
as
I
they
believe,
can.
operator, and she could be the big solution here, because last time what happened is PC419 took their sweet time on getting the breach going and getting at least some peek holes done right onto the site. So here with Nook, there's two possibilities. One is that Nook will try to use those frag grenades to push from below and try to take control of Dining and Art, and then frag from below to get rid of the bandit batteries. Or option number 2, we will go in from the completely polar opposite side where the rest of the team is pushing, turn on the hell device, and get the few 1 to 2 flank frags that should be able to distract Bans just enough for PC419 remaining roster to kind of go in for the swing and for the push, which would be the most ideal. That is an oopsie there, tryhard. That is, yeah, that's...
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been
I will be
dropped.
pretty upset if that would have happened to me. A bit unfortunate. If you're rewatching this one, mate, my condolences. For now, though, action phase is there, and we're already seeing Tesla taking control of the kitchen, pantry, and potentially soon the dining and the art room, where he could be able to take either then the vertical control in the play with the frag grenades, or have Nuba's system in the push to the Astro stairs, because there's no barbed wire, so no indication whatsoever, no Maestro cameras, and, well, one person less, as it's rather IQ that is just doing all the work with denying the electricity. And with Maestro now gone, fully insulted about his whole round, as he lost the Maestro camera, he got taken down whilst sitting on the camera as well. It's just going to be a bit of a tilter for him. So now, for PC419, the avenue is out there, it's open. They just need to go in for the push and claim it for themselves. Whereas for Dance, they're going to be needing to claw to each and every inch of the map to try to deny PC419 of getting any push, any advancement, and any success whatsoever. Swing comes through, as Tesla is the one to be able to finalize that kill into Nate. Same goes for Artie, as unfortunately he will be falling into the hands of Sajin. And once again, it's down to the 2 remaining players of Bands Gaming finally, we will be seeing the Nook fall down as Line Portal is the one to claim that life of the Dayton. And with Pluto down, the Jaeger is the last man standing to try to really maybe make some things work, or maybe even just stat pad a few AD ratios here. But apart from that, really, things are not looking all well. Quick peek by IQ, pardon, not IQ, Sledge. To finalize yet another round. 3-round differential now for PC419, as it almost feels like we might just be seeing a repetition of the matchup number 1, where Ferox just took an absolutely dominant performance for themselves against Bless to push themselves even closer to the contention with Exto's position number 1 on the leaderboard. Whilst we're praying for Smite's internet to make a return, like the Jedi, somewhere around after the episode 3, or an attempt that was made for that, we are going to be seeing the final round of the first half of Villa to be played out, and that is going to be what I believe is perfect statuary once again. Bands are quite set on trying to win out this very site, as I do believe, this is PC419's map, so not too surprised that we're seeing such dominant performance from them, especially against Bands, which leads me to the point of being curious how will the second map will go, because we didn't really touch up on that whilst we were talking in that short pre-game. Second map is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky, which is certainly one of the rather rarer played maps here in LPL Pro, so maybe we will be seeing something quite different, something kind of to spice up the life of a player, maybe to tickle someone's fancy. But for now, it's Artie on the flank with the Vigil plays down below, right at the very bottom in the wine cellar. Could potentially be that change that fans gaming really need here. Agent, I will be getting a few drones coming in, as right now Bands are playing very passively. They are waiting rather to return fire here against PC419 after they did realize that aggression is not particularly working out for them. The PC419 roster is rather a little bit more organized on most of their gunfights and most of their pushes, so rather than coming to them being on defense, let them come to you. And maybe this is where PC419 could make that mistake, at which Bands could really swing the round into their favor, and at the very least make the first half to result in 4-2, which wouldn't really be as bad of an idea. But Noob has an opposing opinion about that. He wants that 5-1 scoreline. He wants it badly. Well, taking out Tryhard straight away. That is the Maestro gone. Denied. Completely shot down. Bit of a flank from Vigil, as a little bit of slightly mistimed was rather coming out as well, I'm not too sure what happened there with Sajin, but he waffles on about and allows Nate to claim that double kill. Vlad will be taken out, but once again that's a response from PC419 as well. Double kill as well to run through Pluto, and Artie are the last man standing, as Artie making a very prompt return back through the Astro stairs, and should be able to cover Pluto's 6, aka the bathroom. And Artie will be trying to hold on his own in the trophy, as Tesla does take quite some damage. Artie finds a shot, and the frag grenade will be damaging Tesla a little bit more in that gunfight. Pluto is the last man standing, as it is a 1v2 situation. Tesla needs to be really cautious about where he's playing, because that Maestro camera is going to be extremely painful to deal with. The smoke grenades going to be there to deal quite some damage, and Pluto is now going on a wide swing. He just might be able to take those gunfights one-on-one if he can change that tide, but right now that crossfire could be set up and could have been quite lethal here for the man. The timer is now going to be ticking in the attack, and Ludo, this is not going to be looking all so well. 26 seconds left to go. Still got time to really pace himself a little bit, because now the two attacking players have managed to separate themselves. So if he's able to isolate this into two 1v1s, he could very much win this gunfight. But with him walking out with his back in front of the gun, well, PC419 to close out the first half 5-1.
And, you know, maybe we're looking okay.
Maybe we'll look
so,
okay.
Yeah, maybe we're looking. Well, you're looking okay. You're looking fine. In fact, you're looking fine, if you know what I mean. But maybe I'm looking okay here. Because I promise you, everything looked good for a whole round. So maybe I get to be, or what's around maybe before match point. It seems like, you know, Band's picking up one round here is going to feel pretty good here to throughout what that half was, but a 5-1 half is still a 5-1 half, and PC419 are, again, like you were saying before, showing kind of a Varrock style of domination here today, and mastery of Villa
Attackers
being
need to
really shown
locate
here.
and defuse bombs.
Yeah, Villa has proved to be an ever-improving map for PC419 here, as yeah, it just seems that after a few hiccups, a few slightly poor performances, PC419 are definitely finding kind of their own niche, also their own kind of path to really to redemption, albeit that it is against one of the rather
Camera feed up and running.
less performing teams up until last week. So here for Bans,
10 seconds to go.
this whole matchup is just rather a test of can they
5 seconds
keep
to
up
insertion.
their momentum, how they did previously against Blessed, or whether the win against Blessed was rather a mixture of Blessed mistakes and Bance's ability to really emphasize of those mistakes. Because so far for PC419, they didn't really make a whole lot of mistakes, and even on the times when they did, half the time they were really able to really make a return, make a compensation there, kind of readjust their pace, apart from round number 2, but I don't think they would really want to talk about round number 2, as that was just a clean sweep.
Yeah, I don't think we'll bring it up here. It's a little mean at this point, but yeah, PC419, it's their first round here on defense here, and so setting it all up here just because they want to move it on to match point. They want to just get this one done and dusted here. Still one more map to go. Both teams seriously looking for the 2-0 here. Incredibly important for both of them, so first map win going to be insanely important. So this match point could put on a lot of pressure. So you want to avoid it as long as possible. And so Nate starts it off strongly here to make that happen.
Certainly does look like it. Vance, they feeling quite ferocious, because I mean, I would be quite angry at that kind of scoreline, especially after my own defense. So here they're looking at ramping up the pressure. Line Cordial to find another shot of the Tesla, but they just have something to say about that. So it's still a man disadvantage here for PC419, which is already a solid start here for Bans. They want to keep at it, as Marty just tries to get into a bit of a gunfight. Takes quite a fair bit of punishment, but nonetheless managed to come out victorious. But PC419 are not backing out. Pun, the old veteran of Siege scene, back from even when there was a full-on Pro League for the console and the Xbox, does make a return here. So he should be able to make the big plays here. Alright, not. I think Pun was a part of the original Mindfreak roster, but nonetheless, he's still quite a veteran in the scene. So him being in that kind of 2v3 situation is a perfect candidate for the clutch situation. C4 to come through, won't be able to really get a frag, but DCSG is still a very powerful weapon, and unfortunately in this gunfight as he's taking quite some punishment. Fantastic flick to come through, nearly gets a tag onto Tryhard as well after the plant has been down, and well, with minimal amount of health, he does not have any more chances of really any more mistakes to be made in this round, as he just needs to nail his shots, but instead the shots are going to be nailed on him.
Yeah, that was always going to be a pretty hard one there from about halfway through the round, so pretty hard to take that one, but there it is. They stay alive just a little bit longer here. Keep that match point at bay.
There is. Match point is still definitely on the table here for PC419. Only one round away from claiming it, but definitely I don't think we will be seeing it to be completely uncontested by Vance. They would want to keep themselves in this matchup for as long as possible. They want to prove that they just not just the team that would get a win once and then completely forfeit any further developments. They're here to stay. They want to make a statement here. So far they were able to make that big
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
that big deed.
I like what PC419 are doing with their lineup. They've got so much intel and so much denial of intel. So any kind of peaks, any kind of attempt at aggression coming out from Vance, it should, in theory, be shut down pretty hard by PC419 simply just by knowing where they all are. And Vance don't get any droning done with the Mutant Mozzie combo. Sorry, what, Mutant Mozzie combo? What am I talking about? I was looking at the operators from the other round. Don't worry about that, but the intel thing is still there. They still have so much intel.
5 seconds
Yeah,
left.
intel is going to be plentiful here for PC419. I mean, Valkyrie, the Pulse are going to be the two main players. And Valkyrie cameras, I mean, that has been proven through multiple seasons that you can hide them in so many weird places where you legitimately will need an IQ to actually just see them through wall before even realizing, oh, they were right there, looking right there at you, gathering all this information. So yeah, Valkyrie is definitely going to be a huge operator pick here, considering also the fact that she has a C4, which is by far one of the more powerful tools to be used by the defender. So here, on the downstairs play, she could be a fantastic tool for PC419's success. Same goes actually for Vlad with him being on Pulse. UMP is not particularly a fantastic weapon, but that cardiac sensor and the C4 are just going to be doing quite a chunky amount of work.
Defender has left the designated staging area. Defender is exposed.
Bit of a misplay there, maybe a mistimed run out by Vlad. Won't be resulting in any shape or form of a win in the gunfight. As Lime Cordial will continue to just keep on chipping away at all of the electronic utility that Sagen on the return fire though will be able to find the shot to Nate. That is the sledge down and out. That is also the frag grenades completely gone. So we just might be able to see yet another win. But no, hold that thought, as we just saw Vance pick up that frag, but Vlad is still there to respond back. Tesla is there as well, and well, it's just all a flurry of kills really, as PC419 did manage to come out victorious here. Only one person remaining, that is Pluto, the Fragmite, the player that right now hasn't really able to pick his game up, and been seeing himself just a bit of some pastry here to be toyed with, aka the donut. But maybe, just maybe, we might see some return to the investment. For the peak, 90-degree hallway could potentially spell his demise, but instead it's going to be rather the peak here by Vlad. Yeah, just off that 90-degree hallway, and well, that is the round down and out. That is the match point gained by PC419, and Vance are now going to be pressured even more on this very map.
Yeah, so pressure is the thing I want to talk about here, Cthulhu, because like I said before, that 2-0 is needed by both teams to crack that top 4, eventually even survive the risk of relegation. So for PC419 to get match point, they get just so close. One more slip up right now from Vance, and they lose that 2-0. So much pressure is on them. They got to do it 4 rounds in a row. PC419 are in such a huge advantageous position right now. They're running a very similar composition, so it's literally just do the same thing as before.
Yeah, exactly. And if they do manage to really keep on catching Vance off guard, this is where they might just be able to find that final round and that closure for Villa. And funnily enough, this will be done on Trophy Statuary, one of their rather more odd sites to really pick out, because the first attempt that they were defending, as my pen just took flight, was quite unsuccessful, but then the remaining 2 on round 5 and round 6, this is where they did manage to shine.
So a lot for them to work on here for Vance. They have had some pretty awkward openings so far throughout their attacks, especially if this is going to be a peek out as well. That's going to be truly devastating. If they can find this one here, Vlad is waiting right by the window, just waiting to see if there's anyone coming around. At least Vance are, if they were around there, they're being very cautious. But as we know, I mean, we can see through walls. Unfortunately, they're not going to find the peek out.
No one, instead it's... Wait. Oh, it's... Wait, skin? What? Oh, right, the skin for... I'm slightly lost there. I don't think that skin is banned per se, but either way, Nate will be one-tapping his own teammate. And that is the Monty, which is not a good thing. That is, from the get-go, setting the really bad pace and the very unfortunate scenario for Bance is currently in a 4v5. They might be looking at a very swift, very quick ending to the map number 1.
Surveying for hostiles.
Oh, Vlad. Oh, Vlad.
Attackers
He's
have
found at least 2
located a bomb.
people. He'll be
Surveying.
pretty happy, but he has backed away. He doesn't want to find any kind of sneaky kills with it. But yeah, like you said, that 4v5, that's the real test for Bance right now. If they can win here, that's a great start.
Bomb
But
has been located.
that is a huge amount of pressure, especially if it's Monty as well, who your strategy probably revolved around.
Yeah, with Tesla already picking up a kill onto Nate as well, things are just not really looking all pretty or all swell in any shape or form here for Bance, really. Up to Lime Cordial and Pluto, it is just all falling apart here for themselves as things are not great here. And well, PC419 are going to be claiming yet another round, and that is the point. Done and dusted. A 7-2 scoreline in favor of PC419.
Very dominating scoreline. I think that kind of speaks for itself here. They'll be moving on to Cafe next, but I think they've already got a pretty strong advantage just from picking up that win here. I talked about the 2-0 being important, so having that first one, the first win already done, you've kind of cracked a bit of the mental here for Bance. They certainly going to be feeling a little crushed now that they won't be able to get that 2-0. They were probably feeling it a little earlier on, but to have it confirmed, that's a bit tough for them at the moment, I've got to say.
It's quite certainly going to be quite a tough task for Bance to really make the return here. For PC419, they edging so close here.
With Cafe up next, this is really just PC419. I think it's a good showing for them this week to come in and say, hey, look, we haven't really been performing up to our level, but this is, again, kind of similar to match number 1 today. This is a match where they should, in theory, come in and just clean up the business as usual. It's not what it looks like on the leaderboard for sure, as Bance is actually ahead of PC419 right now. But if you power rank these teams before the league started, you would certainly put PC419 above Bance. So this should be one of the, quotation marks, easier matches for them to pick up throughout the round robin stage. And so this is where their points should be coming in for PC419. So a lot of this shouldn't be too surprising here. And it should just be Bance coming in and picking up much needed points, but you never count Bance out, right? Like, they can always come back in to shoot PC419 down. And again, I also want to mention that one win here, while it's certainly not great to miss out on that 2-0, the 3 points that you were really looking for, you certainly are keen to get the draw here, because you would actually stay ahead right now. If Bans got the draw, if they got the win here, they would stay ahead of PC419.
Yeah, well, talking about the staying ahead here, we are transitioning straight away, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 2. That is the Cafe Dostoevsky. And with PC419 now in lead, and they are going to be the ones to defend things. They're the ones who might just be setting the pace for the final map of tonight. And yeah, I mean, looking so far at the bans, everything looking just about as standard as it can get, with probably the main deviation being the Thermite being banned out, which usually teams would prefer to keep him rather in the game rather than the other hard breaching operators, as he's the one that gets up close and personal. But nonetheless, ban phase is all done, and yeah, for bans they need to make a very swift recovery from that 7-2, because that is, I gotta say, that is going to be quite a tilter, especially after that final round where their idea of bringing in a Monty kind of ended up failing just to the hands of their own team rather.
Yeah, at least you can't put too much into that round there. At least you don't have to say it was too much on your performance there. So this is a fresh map right now. Not too much of a break for the players. They wanted to get right into it, but here on Cafe, they have had a few minutes to recover themselves from a pretty devastating loss here, and we've definitely seen a lot of teams come back from something like this. They have come back into map number 2. They've swung it right around. They've got a pretty one-sided map themselves, in fact, so it's not impossible for Bans to come back here and just kind of completely surprise. You don't have to put everything in map number 1, but if you are going to take that as any kind of indication of how this one's going to go, then PC419 should have a pretty good opening half.
Should is probably one of the main kind of storylines rather for PC419. A whole lot of things should have gone down for them much better than before, and while this matchup doesn't seems to be just about the right should that they needed, they're still not out of this yet. That if this map will end up getting forfeited to, well, not forfeited, but lost out to Bans, all of their attempts, all of their success and progress would be potentially all down for nothing, at least for this week. And this is kind of the main push, the final countdown, let's say.
You certainly can. I mean, for Bans, this is all about getting the draw, bringing PC419 a bit closer, and keeping themselves alive a little bit more at the bottom of the table here at the moment. I mean, for now they're at the bottom of the table. They wouldn't be so much at the bottom if they didn't draw.
Yeah, true. For Bans here, they will want the big dub, at least on this map. So let's see how will their attempt come out, because they did have a pretty confident push when they were able to really force the pacing into their favor, rather than allowing PC419 to control it all the way. Whereas for PC419, I mean, they bring it in a fairly standardized lineup of the operators, and that castle has been a reoccurring operator throughout pretty much the whole of the cafe.
Reload! Magic going out. Electroclaw is on.
We are going to be seeing Vlad again get the opening frag right into Artie, the Jackal player that could have been the big turning point there for the team with all his tracking capabilities, but alas won't be making his appearance just yet. There is a breach in the piano room. Some advancement being made, but Pluto, an attempt to get a gunfight against them. Why I don't think we'll see a whole lot of success here. The flashbang will be caught out, and one more magnet device to be thrown in to assist with his hold, as Noob is going to be picking up yet another one through one of the rather cheekiest holds that I've witnessed for a while. And well, Bans offensive is all but falling apart.
Yeah, yeah, it's feeling pretty rough for them right now. Probably not the opening round you want here on Cafe. Your map pick as well. Maybe things will look a little better on defense,
Attackers have
but
recovered
again,
their diffuser.
one round of attack so far. But yeah, Lime Cordial and Try Hard, pretty hard to win here from here. I mean, 25 seconds. Today, yeah, they've got the diffuser at
15
least.
seconds
So,
remaining.
so they do basically have to just go in and rush and peek.
Oh, they sure do. Is that triple kill just pretty much solidifies that thing? But one of those 3 kills is Lime Cordial, his very own teammate, as that was a little bit of a cluster of unfortunate events. As PC419 will be able to emphasize right off that, close out the round, and that is the first one to go into the hands of PC419 once again. Dance had a solid idea, had a good approach, couldn't really nail the gunfights, and that is really the most feels bad moment for them in that round. Kitchen, service and cooking will be coming out the next. It's 419 are just potentially going to be taking a full-on tour throughout the whole cafe for bands. And this time actually bringing in an alibi for the defense, as even though
Attackers need to locate and
we
defuse
saw
bombs.
already bring in a Jackal, which would be the big kind of counter, I suppose, to some of the rather more aggressive roam style pushes that
Attackers have discovered the location of the
would
bomb.
make. Won't be really phasing him in any shape or form. Rather, running for a full reinforce on the garage and trying to expand on that one rather than closing out fully the freezer and then playing it safely instead. It's very unconventional attempt at a defense, and I'm liking this. I'm liking how PC419 are always trying to evolve, trying to change some of the ideas, some of the ways how they play, and really keep on forcing the opposing team to keep on questioning each one of their steps, each one of their strats, and kind of always keeping them on their toes.
Setting up a diversion. My artillery is on. All explosive ordnance is in place.
Tesla, I
A
will
bomb has been located.
be holding by his lonesome in the bakery, but like no one will be even making an effort really to try to push it, as that band's just gonna try to go for a 180 swing in. That's a trick, party trick, but probably will make your back or neck sore a little bit after pulling that kind of thing off, but nonetheless, top floor is all cleared out, and well, yeah, bands starting off pretty quick. They taking full control of the top floor, taking control of just the right parts of the second floor where it would matter the most, aka the white stairs, at least for the time being, and maybe soon enough the red stairs. And the moment that's gonna happen, this is where they will have multiple avenues to apply that very much needed pressure, apply that push that could potentially net them that point, the beginning for their return as the team that was able to really pull out some phenomenal plays in that previous matchup where they played against Blessed and were able to really make history for themselves. Now though, it's all just about the calm before the storm. Not a single frag made. Ubin and Pun going to be holding up in just about a similar position. Sage is going to start to get pressured from the VIP stairs by that as I nearly choked on my own air. And Pun to find that find some return fire onto Nadas is just all a snowball effect from PC419. They're able to find all of those peaks, all of those frags, but Artie is not also sleeping. He's there to return some shots and some damage for all the troubles of his own team. And Vlad, after taking quite some damage, will be able to fall back a little bit. A 1v2 situation, both Pun and Vlad are checked up. Artie still has almost full health, just about, well, it's about 75 health, but now it's lower than 50 HP. Still has a few smoke grenades, but those won't be able to find him any successes. He will be tripping over on the floor on that red rug and scoring PC419 the yet another point. 2 points ahead is the currently leading in points team that is on the defense. Reading room and fireplace will be the next choice of the defense, as it's probably one of my rather more favorite sites to either cast or play. Even cafe, as it's just you get quite a fair bit of flexibility as to how you want to play it. You can play it in an extreme kind of anchor mode, which generally against the team that utilizes quite frequently operators like Sledge or Buck wouldn't really work, as they can open up all of the floor right above the reading room side. But you can still hold it pretty well if you have a really nice aim and nice shots to land. Otherwise, you can have some plentiful presence in the cocktail lounge / partially bar. And some teams do also prefer bringing in a castle as well to pass off that double door into the cocktail to just kind of give some exclusivity, some more of a calmer ground to really play off for the defenders. But instead, for PC419, they're going to be opting out of that and rather will be bringing in a pulse to gather some information on the second floor. The hatch got enforced, and is going to be awaiting.
A bomb has been located.
Artie to kickstart the scoreline once again. Team that is Tesla.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Fantastic way to really get the first blood. No more of the Wamai charges will be there. There's only, I believe, 3 or 4 were really deployed. Hold down Sajan, ADSs and Magpies to start getting some work done. Trying to gather some information to figure out where the shots will be coming through onto Sajan. As the Jaeger player is just about to get pressured, he should have spotted by the edge of his eye one of the attackers that is about to go into the new hatch balcony, as he's just getting pressure from all sorts of angles. Vlad is there as well, as he's gonna get tracked by the Jackal scanner, and the gas grenade will be forcing IQ to go in for the push. There's the swing. Does manage to find that headshot. Same goes for Sajan as well. Does manage to out Pluto, but finally Sajan will be falling down to the hands of Artie. That is the Jackal of Vance Gaming. 3v3 situation right now. Vlad did manage to repel the push that was happening on the white stairs hallway, but just as he pulls back from the site, Nate and Tryhard will be able to take full control of it. That is the cocktail lounge, and well, now the main pressure is going to come through. Still a minute to go, and all the gunshots are starting to come through. Nate just can't seem to land the shots onto Pun, but instead it's Artie that is going to be picking up a kill before it will be getting traded out by Pun. 2v2 situation, as Nate is extremely low on health, and Tryhard is the last man that is fully in shape here for taking multiple gunfights. Noob trying to get some peeks, some shots to come through at the shelves, but for now he is the only man right on site. Sajan, sorry, not Sajan, Tryhard is going to be the one to go in for the swings, but it's Pun once again strikes back with a double kill now. Nate is the last man standing, 30 seconds left to go. He's just about under 25 HP, and for him to win out this round, he will need a very much of a miracle, as even though he has the diffuser, both Noob and Pun should be able to make the rotation, make the play here, and well, eventually find that round to win. 10 seconds remaining, and PC419 is going to be playing a little bit more careful, a little bit more cautious. There's that crossfire, and well, Nath will be the one to fall down, and PC419 will be scoring yet another point on reading.
And I'm just going to sneak back in here to say that PC419, what an opening here. 3-0 at the moment. And even though it's getting a little closer in these individual rounds, you can see that a lot of their talent is starting to show out. I mean, pretty hard there at the end for Bans to swing that one back at the 2v2 stage. But Pun, who was on Pulse, he could just track them down forever. So in that situation, he was pretty lucky to be able to find the two members. But the fact that he did meant that it was just impossible for them to hide, impossible to sneak up, get peeks, and crack the two defenders, who were also pretty much full health, I believe, at that point. So, pretty solid defense. And again, just overall opening coming out for PC419. This is looking pretty dire for Bans, to be honest. And remember, this is their map pick. Yeah, things might look different if they get defense, but that's potentially going to be pretty dicey if the next 3 rounds continue this way.
Dicey is probably going to be the main way to really describe the for Bans. Should they keep on losing some of the rounds. It is very unfortunate the way how things are going for them right now. They did provide a little bit more fire back during Villa, where they were able to kind of storm back onto that aggression on round number 2. But here, on their own map pick, matter of fact, as well, they're seeming to be really just unable to find any frags or any success, rather, in taking the round of PC419, at least just yet. But maybe, just maybe, after going through that kind of the perfect site rotation PC419 setup, maybe they will be able to kind of nail down the pathing, pace, the general approach that PC419 has to take.
Well, Bans had a pretty good opening last time with Artie through the window. Looks like he's going to be looking for it yet again, but hasn't found it just yet. Meanwhile, the main force of Bans coming out from the main side, but there it is. Yeah, Artie gets the opening frag again through the same window, I believe. So, a great opening by Bans, but it didn't work out last time, so hopefully they can pull out something just a little bit different this time to get the win.
A bomb has been located.
That initial frag onto Vlad is definitely exactly what Bans needed to start things off for themselves. But so many times we saw Bans opening up the scoreline, getting the first blood, and then proceeding to completely forfeit out some of the gunfights some of the round. But definitely here it seems like maybe history could repeat itself, or just maybe we might be seeing a change of plans, and Bans finally finding that round for themselves. It's definitely quite tough for them to get those openings. That's probably gotta be the most soul crushing sight. The moment you just about to start going in, I'm gonna breach that, I'm gonna open that, and that breaching floats away by that magnet.
Yeah, he probably made the call to his team as well. They'll score and everything. But the run out is coming out, and he's been seen as well. Sejon now actually in perhaps a little bit of trouble as he's caught outside. And there it is, he's gone down in the end, but Pun's found a kill of his own. And now things may look like it could happen for Bans, but they have to go in quick, and here it comes. They've started slaughtering their opponents. It's just Noob to get the job done.
Even he doesn't have a whole lot of HP, not a whole lot of time, and well, HP will be pretty much down to 0 at this point. Nate will be the hero of the round to finalize this one and finally break the pace, break the curse, and finally to claim the victory in this round against PC419.
And all of a real good, strong opening by R well. So you can imagine that we're not going to see PC419 caught out by him in that window again. Maybe they'll be ready there for him again, but he seems to be pretty decent at out-peaking his opponents. So perhaps not even the best way to approach it, but yeah, a good win there by Bans to snag one of the rounds for a win. That's going to be at least a start of a way to redemption here after a real strong opening by PC419. So they're running very similar composition, so don't expect too much change. It does feel like it's just down to execution at the moment. The plan's not terribly
Attackers need to locate
wrong
and
at the
defuse
moment.
bombs.
It's just right now PC419, they've been shutting them down at a lot of stops. So for Vance to get the opening here again, it will probably have to start off with someone like Artie getting that entry frag, or at least getting some good footstep scan. But yeah, Vance really need a lot of advantages coming into these attack rounds because PC419 have looked so strong.
PC419, they were able to really bring in the heat. Thankfully for Vance, they were able to swing the momentum to their favor in the previous round, so maybe they might just be able to find that flow for themselves, find the success they were looking for oh so long, but it's still gonna take quite some time. And now it's the action phase that will be starting things up again. 5 is just looming right above us. The final map of tonight as well. And we just might be seeing maybe a few comebacks to be attempted by Vance, but or maybe it's just going to be a full-on shutdown now that PC419 kind of tasted their own medicine. They will be able to potentially make some adjustments on the go.
Last round definitely showed that there's a lot of chance for Vance to come back here. Even if it was a little close, they had great openings, great plays, and even a good push. So all the elements of a successful round, they can definitely pull it into some of these further rounds here, but let's take it a little slowly. You've got Gridlock as well. Lime Cordial was in this on the previous round as well. Really good for just denying all these annoying roams coming out. You don't have to deal with Sage, but I think this guy likes to do runouts as well, so just drop the track stingers, make him make some noise if he wants to. That's just too annoying.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, it's certainly quite annoying thing to deal with, especially with that continuous kind of almost occasional hit and run kind of play that PC419 occasionally introducing. Vance, they were able to catch a few plays off guard, but they were also all based off the sheer audacity that PC419 had to really start doing some of the rather out there strats. And well, throughout the audacity, it's Tryhard will be going down. Same goes for Lime Cordial. Vlad already on the double kill. He's a god of reception. Sajin will be trying to match him on the gunfight. Tries to get into another one. Picks up a C4, but that is going to be a flawless round, even with the fact that Jaeger is going to be down. 4-1 scoreline. This is looking like PC419 are just back again into the control of the pace, through and through.
Oh, I mean, PC419 saw how quick Ferox got it done, so they wanted to come in and kind of contest that. It's not going to be the fully flawless round here on map number 2, but I guess that's okay. It's been a quick night here, Cthulhu, I just want to say. We're almost an hour ahead of when we normally end, and PC419 are close to closing it out. They're only 3 rounds away from picking up a win here. They're going for a bit more of a bit of anchor power here with Rook, at least in gunfight power. He's going to throw a little more armor around. And yeah, it looks like Oryx is going to be, in fact, confirmed as well. So a little bit of extra armor for Oryx is actually going to be quite nice.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, Oryx introduction on Cafe, I rate that. Because he, first of all, he has a fantastic ability to do exactly what just Vlad did, which is you can actually kind of surf almost on the perimeter of that bar stand, and you can completely clear it out from all of the wooden parts of it. So that's pretty much an easy peeking angle, which usually means that the attack usually is the one that prefers to utilize it as a cover. So no more cover here. And instead it's just going to be a full and open avenue. PC419 to go in for the peak. Maybe this is exactly what they need. I'm curious though how will Dance react to this one, because they still have, I believe, 2 operators on the smoke grenades, as well as that Lime Cordial's track stingers could also ensure that nobody would be able to quickly run through those smoke grenades as well.
Yeah, it's also going to be about how well they can get those roams out too. It has a lot of times stopped Vance in their tracks when PC419 pull it out. Their anchoring has also been incredibly good. It seems pretty hard to crack a lot of their angles too. Some of their openings have been caught out by Artie. He's once again just trying to peek through the window. If you can find that again, that's going to be where it starts. Tryhard as well. has got some pretty good shots as well, but there it is. Vlad shutting down Artie is going to be a huge pain in the backside right now for Bance. That was the opening that they needed to get, and it was just ripped away from them.
There is seeming to not being able to catch a break here. Seem to find any
Attackers have
proper
located a bomb.
openings for themselves. They had a solid round in round number 4, but apart from that, really
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
can't seem to be able to find the
Attackers recovered the
consistency. It's
diffuser.
rather the consistency. They have all that it takes really to find the kills, find the frags. Oh, Vlad, that was just no, mate. That aim was vile. Just as vile as it is, Tryhard will be also finding the shot onto Tesla. This is finally the trade come out from the Bance player.
Yeah, get that guy out of here. He's making too much noise.
Get him out of here.
I was wondering what was going on. But there it is. Yeah, now down to 2 members for Bance here at the end. Wow, it's going to be pretty rough for them to pull it out. Just like that, just in the blink of an eye, Vlad comes in, finishes it off nice and easy. And so there we have it. They've moved even further forward.
Yeah, but we are going to be seeing a bit of a rehost to come around as the first half to be closed out. 5-1 scoreline in their favor. And once again, very dominant. As believe, yeah,
But the round will count.
Yeah, that
That's
round will
what's
count.
important.
Yeah. So that is a very good point to mention that the round will count. So it's still gonna stay 5-1, and Bance will be returning on the rehost. After the rehost, they will be returning on now their defense rather than them being on offense. Sorry, I'm brain blanking out trying to process too much information at the same
That's all right,
time.
Cthulhu. I abandoned you for a little while, so you had to have a few moments to process that. But I'm back now. And there's no need to feel scared anymore. You can feel warm for the rest of the night. But we may have a little bit of a time for a chat here, as rehosts are notorious for having bugs with the lobby and all that. So let's continue chatting about what is potentially the final 2 rounds here, as PC419 have snagged themselves an incredible lead, 5-1 half, like you mentioned. That is exactly where they've already picked up the 1 win. They are steps away from snagging that 2-0, getting that 3 points, and separating themselves from the bottom half of the table. I think that is going to be the main story of tonight. It's the start of PC419 making the climb.
Yeah, this actually, for that matter, for both Ferox and PC419 today has been all about them starting kind of their climb after a very rough start of the run in the league of the season. They finally seeming to find that kind of the flow to recuperate, to get themselves up and running, and finally get their score lines up as well. So yeah, for PC419, this looks like they just might be able to get their points sorted, at the very least boost themselves further up on the leaderboard, as I do believe that this could actually push them right over the whole lineup of Bance, Skyfire, and Bazaar. At the very least, 1 or 2 of those teams. So at the very least, they should ensure themselves that the top 4, if not top 5, scoreline, and ensure that at the very least as well, they will not be looking at the relegation bracket, at least just yet.
So a 2-0 here for PC419 would put them just below Bazaar and Skyfire in terms of points. So Bazaar and Skyfire have, what is this? 1 win, so 1 2-0 and 1 draw so far. 2 draws so far, right? So PC419 win here, they get a 2-0, a draw, and a loss. So it puts them basically 1 point behind Bazaar and Skyfire if they get the 2-0 here, which is pretty important. Pretty important for them to get here to really contest it. But it also puts them just below the top 4, but only 1 point below it. Whereas it leaves Bance 2 points behind them. So then any kind of draw shenanigans, if Bance draws in the future, then it certainly doesn't look good for them. Bance have already, due to strength of schedule, got some of their easier matches out of the way. They've already played Blessed. So the chances of them getting only draws from now on after this week, draws at best, isn't too out of the realms of possibility. So PC419, it would be an insanely comfortable position to, like, say, avoid relegations or even dropping into the bottom 3 if they can manage that.
Yeah, for them right now, the main kind of issue is to stay at the very least in the middle of the pack kind of leaderboard. The best case scenario for them is just to go as high as possible on the leaderboard, try to get into the playoffs and kind of work their magic from there on. For Bans, yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit grim, albeit that they still sitting pretty good out in the middle of the bracket right now. And even if they do manage to, say, find themselves maybe a point or two here, maybe they might be able to make a comeback here on the second half. Who knows? Maybe they will be able to get themselves at least one more point to push themselves slightly further up on the leaderboard. And if so, well, boy oh boy, this could be looking quite pretty well for them.
We've seen some pretty big comebacks before. In fact, we've seen exactly a comeback like this one. The first half's 5-1, and the losing team gets the 5-1 half in return, and we go to overtime. But even though we've seen that happen, there's still no reason to believe it's going to happen here. Bans have even had a chance to show us a round of defense, after the round of swaps. So it's not really showing off too much at the moment right now. Maybe something else comes up right now, but you imagine after a 5-1 half, they put the best foot forward on defense on the first. It certainly did not look good enough. I mean, sure, there was the DC. It certainly didn't help. So maybe something comes out of that one. But again, still just not really any reason to believe Bans are going to be coming back here, at least in the next round or two. So PC419 are likely going to be, again, pushing themselves on the match point really early. And that means that, again, the pressure is going to be on Bans for the rest of the map. And they'll be facing down the 0-2 scoreline, which is, again, tons of pressure, pretty scary. So, yeah, I mean, pretty rough for these guys at the moment for Bans. But hey, look, I'm all for seeing an upset. I am all for being proven wrong. So let's see what they can do.
Sure, indeed. Let's take a look, as I do believe the teams are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. I believe the admins are ready to roll. So we're just going to be getting right back into the matchup. Cafe Dostoevsky. And, second half.
I was just going to say, to catch everyone up, we've got PC419 on that 5-win round already, with Bans only picking up that 1 so far. Of course, it's just opening into the second half, right? So we are actually potentially very close to the end of the round here. So, I mean, what are we going to see out of Bans here on defense? Because, I mean, there is some pretty fun things you can do on defense to make it easy to pick up a few rounds. But what can they do here to make sure they consistently do not lose around here? They want to have a 5-1 half.
For Bans really here, they will need to make sure that they don't overly aggress, because we already saw what they could achieve with overly aggressing, and it was a very high risk, kind of high reward playstyle, which only granted them 2 points on Villa. Here in Cafe, I would have to say that I would want to see them play a little bit more conservative, maybe wait for picks rather than trying to create themselves those picks. But looking at their overall lineup, it certainly does at least indicate partially that they could be playing somewhat passively, albeit that the Doc and the Valkyrie is certainly also saying that we might just be seeing a bit of a extra aggression to be broken out here by Bans, to see if they can maybe get some rotations, maybe get some long angles to be held. And that is also not a bad idea, but not against PC419, because they've been able to really force out those angles into rather their favor.
And something I want to point out, Cthulhu, is I think maybe PC419 having a bit of fun here on this round, because they've brought out the Twitch. Twitch is an operator we do not often see, although PC419 not going to be caught out by any kind of peaks at all. I'm cordial down. That's the roaming Jaeger now off the table. That is where we're probably going to see Bansal rushing back to the site and just looking to anchor down. Not the operator for it, for sure, but now they've got to win a 4v5.
Yeah, the Jaeger of Lime Cordial could have been a fantastic leverage for Bans to really push themselves even further to the round count, but instead it's Artie who's actually going to be making a move here. Getting rid of the pun, the only hard breacher, will be doing quite a phenomenal job there, which could also catch off one of the other attackers off guard. Fantastic play, that is Tesla gone. Nearly gets the white swing onto Vlad as well, but only will be able to wound him quite severely and will be losing his life. But still, a 2-for-2 trade out. That I reckon that's already a very good one, but still losing out on Tesla and Pun, that is quite a damage as well dealt. Sajin with his drones, I believe both of them are already lost to the void, so should be able to at the very least get some frags going, because that F2, even after all the nerfs and all the recoil nerfs as well, it is going to be an absolutely scary weapon to play against. Because I mean, think of it like this: 1,000 RPM with 25 round max, you can unload it pretty quickly, but so will be the single bullet unloaded into the heads of Vlad and Sajin, as well Noob is just all by his lonesome, and it certainly looks like Bans might have finally found their play.
Man, Artie in the early game, but Nate here in the late game here in the second half of round 7, pulling it back in, and now it's just only Noob left to take the site, and clearly not really going to happen. So a lot of value out of this here from Bans. Let's just see if he cleans it up. Oh, Noob, he got 1 kill, but yeah, it's pretty much impossible from that point. So yeah, a ton of value there. It looked dicey there by Bans after that opening. They lost already a member, so 4v5 from the get-go. But Artie, a massive play. He didn't roam back to the site. He stayed out way off site, made sure he could catch the attackers as soon as they were coming in through the windows, even outside the windows. So great opening by him. And then obviously try hard near the end with some great, amazing angles. So a good 4v5 by Bans. Really good, but again, like, we have to see this pretty much every single round from this point.
Yeah, for Bans right now, they have only 1 round buffer for really any mistakes, and after that it's going to be pretty much a game of sudden death rather, which I'm sure they wouldn't really want that to happen for themselves as well. So for now, it's going to be a kitchen defense where they will be attempting to continue their streak to keep on rolling, whereas PC419 will be looking at nabbing their match point at this very site.
Yeah, going with the same kind of strategy, leaving Artie and probably Lime Cordial out for a bit of roaming while everyone else just sits back. Anchors down, they've got the healing, the armor from French duo Rook and Doc, so they're pretty safe in that sort of sense. They can buff themselves up for any kind of firefights. You look over at PC419, and again, there's nothing too crazy coming out. They have all the breach they need. They're just going to throw in the utility of the hologram. Oh, hang on though, forget what I'm saying. Nate, he's just fully running out. He's looked at the wrong side though, and so doesn't get to find anything. If only he looked to the left. But it looked like perhaps PC419 was slow anyway, so he didn't really have time.
Yeah, not a whole lot of chances there for Nate to really score that frag, really. But at the very least, he introduced that kind of point of uncertainty for PC419 to keep on continuously checking for some of the runouts, for some of the angles, for that window in particular as well. Because now they will be forced to really spend quite some time to really run it out, figure out if it's still safe to really go for a push, and then go in for a push rather than just flat out sending it.
Yeah, Artie actually hanging out pretty close to the site. It's Lime Cordial over here, pretty far away. He's going to be the roam master here for Bans. Definitely needs to step up compared to last round. Had a pretty awkward one, getting popped off right at the start, so has a chance for redemption here. But PC419 have been given quite a lot of space. They did have to take some time, like you said, but there's the roam. It's Lime Cordial. He's found out Tesla. He's lost half his life bar. Can he make it still work though? Even with half a health bar, he still picks up another kill on the Noob.
Amazing peek by Lime Cordial, really. will be solidifying yet another advantage for the roster of Bans Gaming. As this will be leaving PC419 questioning as to like, what now? What do we do now? Where do we even start even our approach here? Because they lost one of the players, albeit Vlad does have a pretty good idea, as Lime Cordial will be finally falling down, this time to a headshot rather than body shot.
Healed too.
Yeah, and he just got healed. But yeah, this time Sajin will be trying to go in for another push, but Pun this time makes a return. 3 versus 3, just like that. All that progress that Lime Cordial generated for his team, completely now forfeited.
Yeah, now they've got a pretty solid position above the side as well, so they can start breaking down the hatch so they can drop down if they need to. They've got the sledge, so if Sage reconnects with them, they can start raining down any kind of shots on them from above. There he is, he's already starting to do that, getting ready. I believe he's got 1 or 2 frags left at the moment. And so this is all great. They've got the positions above, but now they're starting to drop down. Here goes Sage, rushing for a peek, rushing to see what he can find. No defenders, no one from Bans, but just around the corner, just peeking behind the bar. You can find him behind the bomb in the moment, but he's rushed across the site and Sage just can't find him. The plant has gone down though, and now it's time for Bans to move on to the retake. It was looking pretty good, but now they've got to contest it. Vlad's already taken out 1 defender. Bans is dicey right now. Artie and Tryhard have got to find what they can do. And now, oh no, Pun and Sage with the nade kill as well from above. And now she's up to Artie. He had some hope before, and the hope is beginning to rise again. 1 kill started, the 2nd kill. He's looking for 1 more, but he's only got just as much health. And there it goes. That 1 hit point will fall, and PC419 shut the hope of the comeback down.
They sure do, as this is the match point that PC419 have been looking for. This is the round that they needed to really push themselves into a much more favorable point here. And now, in a 2-6 scoreline, they will be looking at repeating the same scoreline that they've managed to achieve on Villa. But oh, so close, so many times for Bans to really score the point for themselves, but just so close yet so far away from that success.
That was just a round that should have gone Bans' way. It is real tough to lose that one. PC419, of course, big props for them for picking it up, especially for picking up a lot of the important kills too, and getting their positioning in the final push on the site. But yeah, now they're on a match point. PC419, again, that pressure's back. Probably not as much as it was on the first map when the match point happened, but in fact, PC419 this time are further ahead. Bans have 4 rounds in a row they've got to win. Things have been a little awkward with openings. They've lost people like Lime Cordial, just to entry frags, just to even spawn peaks that didn't go so well. So this is where they're probably not going to do a whole lot of things like that anymore. They're probably going to stick to a lot more solid play. You can see that their composition hardly changes, right? Artie now and Valkyrie is the only real difference. So definitely powerful operators for some top fraggers here. In these hands, they can certainly bring it back, but it's still the same play. So PC419 should not be caught off guard.
Yeah, PC419, I don't think they will have much trouble really clearing out just a little bit more of the utility that Valkyrie will be bringing out with those cameras. That Vlad has been doing some phenomenal job before. Here it's, yeah, rather going to be a question of composure, but interestingly enough, Sajin bringing in a Kali out of all the operators. Now that Thatcher is banned, they want to deal promptly with that issue of the electrified walls, but Nate has something to say about it, and that is a headshot with the MP5 straight to the dome piece of the sniper, which is quite ironic as well.
So now they're going to have to go ahead and go Bans' way without being able to get rid of that bandit. That's going to be super annoying for them. But the peak comes out now, Bans. He's still hungry for more. He still wants to get them as they come in for the entry. A bit of a risky spot, so he does decide to rush on back. He's got the stairs to fall back to, so only a minute now drained for PC419, and Bans are already falling back. At least they've got 1 kill so far. That's already a good start, but I mean, we've seen plenty of 4v5 rounds won out by PC419 on both attack and defense. By attackers.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the point that I also wanted to make. That it's the fact that it's the ability for PC419 to make those comebacks is what kind of defining them against Bans. Whereas for Bans, they have the ability to set that early aggressive pace, but it seems that it's not really working in particular there. Vlad to pick up that frag onto Nate, finally finding that roaming dock. Will be completely able to shut him down. Noob. Oh, Noob and Lime Cordial could be able to find those frag onto each other right now there, but Vlad is the one to be finding the kill right in the back of the skull of Lime Cordial, and that is a fantastic cover for the teammate. 3v4 situation now as the main roamers are all gone and out. 2 players of Bans have the C4s and should be able to score at least a kill each, but that is still yet to be decided as 50 seconds are just on the board.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just intel gathering right now for PC419. They've got drones, and then they've got Iana. That's, I guess, IQ as well to take a look. But they've managed to take up Tryhard as well. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so he's gone now. And now it's just business as usual. 4v2. Let's get it done. Get the breach done, make the hole, get the kill. Get killed back as Crew looks at the board and the meme, but
there it is.
There's still pretty much everything in the bag right now. They had the numbers, they had every advantage, and PC419 pretty cleanly take the series.
Another 7-2 here for PC419. We'll be closing it out. We'll be granting themselves another win here. Finally, we'll be able to boost themselves even further on the bracket here. Whereas for Bans, it is quite an unfortunate loss there. A fair few very valiant efforts to be made, but alas, it was not meant to happen there for them and for the roster.
Yeah, pretty rough, especially after last week where their 2-0 did send them up the leaderboard just a little bit. So they were probably feeling pretty good after that one. Of course, if you look at the leaderboard before tonight, you see Bants 1 point ahead of PC419. Yeah, wow, they should definitely feel like a team that should be taking down PC419, at least feeling like they have a good chance. But PC419 came in to prove to everyone that you shouldn't just look at a leaderboard a few weeks into a round robin and have a good, solid idea of who's going to be taken out. Who you don't really know who's going to take the matches just off of that. So PC419, they proved that today. They say we belong up here in the top 4. They're now 1 point behind the top 4. So they'll have their chance to prove that right now. Whereas for Bants in the following weeks, it's going to be some pretty tough matches for them because they're going to need to pick up at least a 2-0 somewhere. And they've got some pretty hard matches coming up. They've already got, for example, Blessed out of the way, so they can't do that again. I don't think they've played ShadowNet, so they'll probably have a chance there. But don't quote me on that one. But yeah, it's again just going to be a pretty uphill battle for them.
Yeah. Well, talking about the uphill battle, let's actually talk to Nath, the player of Bans. First of all, Nath, hello.
Hello.
Hello. A bit of an unfortunate loss there for you boys, but instead of asking kind of what happened on the maps, I want to ask you rather what were your thoughts? How was the roster feeling before getting into tonight's matchup?
Well, basically, it was a bit rough because we had to get Tryhard to play because we subbed Prickles recently and we're picking up a 5th, but he couldn't be announced until further dates. So we had to get Tryhard, which kind of was a bit messy. But kind of messed us around with our attacks because we didn't really know what we were doing. Same with our defenses, but overall, PS49 were a good team. So I didn't expect us going in there to wear them. So
okay. Run us through a few of the plays because on a fair few occasions you guys managed to get that early kind of lead with Lime Cordial occasionally picking up a few frags. You were able to really fire back with the dock plays, especially on Cafe. What kind of, in your opinion, kind of went wrong, and what would you personally would have done differently, say, if the similar kind of matchup would have came to happen?
I think we should have just backed off once we got the opening kill. We were always going for the opening kill because we know that's how we can take PC419 down because they rely a lot on the 20-second meta, which means 5 people alive. So we went for the opening pick a lot, but I think we just got a bit too greedy, especially me. After we started losing, it was 5-1, I kind of just thought I'm just going to run around with Doc. So you know, we all had fun. So yeah, we're just having fun at the end. So
I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's still at the end of the day, it's still a game. You gotta enjoy playing the game.
Yeah.
Competing, but yeah. Smite, any kind of
So now that you've got these matches out of the way right now, you've got some pretty tough ones coming up. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for you guys to get another 2-0 up against the next team. So what are you guys going to be doing to prepare for that?
Well, we lost Bazaar, which I'd say is probably going to be the most difficult matchup in the tournament. So I think we'll just try our best. I'm not really going there expecting anything special. If we maybe can pull up, maybe we won't. It depends because they're a very strong team. They've been together for a very long time. So I don't know. It's just we'll have to see on the day. But we're looking to worry shot on it and then try and go from there because we have to avoid relegation. So yeah, but I think that's the only way we're gonna have to do it.
Is it just about relegations for you guys at this point, or are you fighting to crack that top 4, or maybe something a little more?
I mean, I think it's just relegations because I don't think we're going to be able to beat Ferox or Bazaar. That's just a bit, that's a bit overkill. I don't think that's possible. Well, it's definitely possible, but it'll just be very, 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 very difficult.
All right. Well, I certainly do believe that you guys can make the big push. You already managed to showcase us some great Siege by playing when you were playing against Blessed, and you were able to score those points for yourselves and prove that, well, you're very much worthy of staying here and LPL Pro. So for the future games, I certainly wish you best of luck. Best of luck with the preparation as well, and keen to see you play more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for casting, man.
Here's all mine.
Nah, I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
Man.
All right, well, that was Nath.
Yeah, again, big respect to anyone that jumps onto an interview after getting 2-0'd. It's always a real tough thing to do. So yeah, again, big respect over to Nath and the rest of the boys for shouldering that one. But yeah, no, always good to get the thoughts on how it is after a situation kind of like that. Good to hear that they've got kind of a good plan going forward, looking to 2-0 ShadowNet. But yeah, it's also good to hear that they're realistic about their chances against some of these other teams. So I imagine that's going to affect their prep a lot for some of those matches coming into it. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to see more of them, and definitely keen to see the match against ShadowNet.
Yeah, the ShadowNet one should be pretty much a banger. But let's quickly also talk to Vlad, the player of PC 419, who was able to really push a fair few rounds into the favor of his team. And well, Vlad, welcome.
Привет, comrade.
Привет. First of all, massive congrats on scoring that 2-0. Pretty swift one as well for you boys, as you finally managing to kind of come out from that, I guess, slug that was the beginning of the season. Any kind of first thoughts, first feelings as you guys slowly kind of finding your way back to the top of the leaderboard?
Well, I guess the focus for the boys was to just sweep away those losses in the first few weeks and just, get that momentum back up. And we're definitely aiming for the top 4 spot and make the finals.
Yeah, so speaking of top 4 spot, you guys are currently, I believe it's 1 point exactly below the top 4 teams right now, which is just Bazaar and Skyfire, who play tomorrow night. But yeah, what are you guys doing to prepare to crack that top 4? Or I mean, are you guys gunning for that top 1 spot at this point?
I think it's all in our hands right now. We've got to just focus every week to get that 2-0. It's not going to be easy. I think every team has proven themselves at times to be quite challenging. And just hope that the other results go our way as well.
So run me through what was happening on both of the maps, because you had a few kind of hiccups here and there on a couple of rounds. Would you kind of relate that to maybe you guys getting a little bit overzealous there on some of the pushes, or was it rather that bands were kind of slowly starting to kind of maybe figure out some of the patterns in your performance, or any kind of any comments on that one?
Well, I think we'd be comfortable attacking, each site the first time, and then after after that first round, you'd notice changes in their setup, and we kind of had to play around that, maybe find weaknesses, in other places. And most of the time we were successful, I think, but sometimes bands came up with some good answers to our pushes and our defenses as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last one from me, because I gotta know this. You guys tonight, especially, come back from 4v5s quite a lot. A lot of rounds where someone's just picked off right at the start. So, how do you guys do it? Like, how does the team come back so easily from 4v5 so often?
Well, I guess we just find that spot that's not as important. With that fifth person being missing, we've got like a void somewhere, and we've just got to accept that. Maybe put a drone there, or just hope that that spot isn't vulnerable enough for them to compromise us, I guess. And yeah, but that has become like a big focus for us, is like we lose numbers too quick sometimes, and we're having to claw back rounds too often. And yeah, something that we'll be looking at improving in the coming weeks.
Okay. And so yeah, now that you guys already managing to kind of boost your scoring, or finally managing to push yourself, what are kind of the thoughts for the upcoming matches? I mean, you managed to get by some of the rather more of the tougher matchups, but what are the kind of the thoughts for the upcoming, for the remainder, for the nearest future of the roster in the season 2 of LPL Pro?
Well, our eyes are on Blessed right now. I think I'm pretty sure that's who we are up against next week.
Yeah.
And once we get through them, the goal there is to get that 2-0 and keep charging towards the top 4. Once we get through them, it's the next team, and yeah, that's all I can really say at the moment.
All right. Well, best of luck with the preparations. You guys showing some great promise, and well, tonight was probably one of the rather more confident performances by you guys. So definitely keen to see some more plays from you guys as well. So yeah, I mean, best of luck with all of that. Best of luck with the future games, and well, we'll be seeing you on some more matchups and maybe some interviews as well in the nearest future as well.
All right, thank you very much. До свидания.
Well, that was Vlad as well.
Man, you got to teach me some Russian so I can talk back to him like that.
All right, sounds good. We'll practice off stream on that one as well.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, good to hear from Vlad there. Always keen to hear the minds of a team that's kind of crushing as well. So, kind of similar to what we heard from Sushi and Ferox, but also good to know how they're able to come back from the 4v5s. I think that's a really good one. And he just like that, had a plan, knew exactly what to say to that question. So it's clearly very much in the minds of PC419.
Oh yeah, the biggest thing that I kind of figured out between, like, say, when we interviewing, say, Sushi and here with Vlad, is that with Sushi you always get sometimes the vibes that it's Ferox are expecting to get the win, like at the back of their minds, even when they might be saying that it's going to be a tough matchup, we will do our best. It's always the expectancy that we're going to win. Whereas with PC419, it's always kind of being a little bit, maybe slightly more humble. Maybe it's just slightly kind of realizing that there were mistakes. We still have mistakes. So there's slight bit of that uncertainty, rather, as to what could be their nearest future, you could say, which is to me feeling a little bit quite intriguing, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, it totally shows in their games, right?
Oh,
how many times they came back from that. But I mean, there it is, right? 2-0 from PC419 tonight. Also the 2-0 from Ferox, but that's all our matches for tonight, Cthulhu. So we're already halfway through week number 4 here. I think that puts us about over. Are we over the halfway mark of the whole thing now?
Believe so. Yeah, we're getting close.
I think we're definitely over halfway of the round robin stage, but I'm trying to include the whole finals as well.
Right.
We must be pretty close there. We've made some pretty good progress.
Yeah, some excellent progress by a fair few teams, and kind of, I guess the big storyline is going to be how long will EXO be able to hold on to their first place, because they've made some phenomenal progress right at the beginning of the season, but how long can they keep up their the first place? How long can they keep up the flawless streak? Because this is what a whole lot of teams are now going to be gunning for, because we still, I believe, yet to see the Exto versus Ferox. I'm pretty sure we're still yet to see the Exto versus PC419. That is, if I completely blanked out on some of my notes.
Exto, they're definitely playing either Bazaar or Skyfire tomorrow night. I don't have the schedule on me, but they're definitely playing one of those two teams because they've already played Shadownet. So I think that's going to be the real test. It's sure it's not Ferox, but it's the next two teams that are going to be contesting them as well. And it'll give us a good idea of where they're going to be sitting in the leaderboard. And whether they will hold on to that top spot. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Ferox are going to be gunning for them super hard for sure after tonight. So yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the second half's main story point, is how high can Extos sit, because they're pretty much guaranteed semifinals at this point, I believe. But yeah, it's whether they can hold on to that first place seed.
Yeah, well, we'll be seeing about that very soon. But for now, for us, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. As we are going to be saying good night for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming around and witnessing some very dominant games tonight. And we will be definitely seeing you tomorrow. So come around, stay tuned, and we'll see you for tomorrow's matchups.